Well, hey, hello, beautiful people. What brings you here? Day 5 of the trial, maybe? Hey, you none yet? Right, let me close this one down then. Here we are. Here we are again with my heart. I'll end up holding the last one. Well, here we are. Surprised to see some of you. Look at you. Right, let me open. Please remember to like the video. Katie's here as well. Hey, Katie. I hope the fucking Erin got you here safely, guys. Oh, she's still licking the bus windows. She's still licking. Erin, where? Oh, here she is. Too busy licking those windows. I know, Erin. I know. But thanks for bringing over. Right. Remember to like the video. Smash that like button. Engrave his face. There we are. Here again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Here I am again on my own. Yeah, that's the Erin song. Here I am licking the bus on my own. Josie's here as well. No. I hope you had a good journey with Erin all the way here. Right, let me make sure you hit that like button. Thank you, Josie. Also, this is for those of you that also watching replay. So it's not just people here present. Replay crew, make sure you've smashed it and liked it and press notification button, and if you fancy it, join the membership crew because Shelley did. Shelley's now a blue wench. Let's go, Shelley. So if you want to be a blue wench like Sherry, then just hit that join button. Yes, like a drifter is born to walk alone, like a hero was born to walk alone. Jesus. Nah, it's blue wench, blue wench, blue wench. You can also be a tackle member if you want to. Blue wench or tackle member. Tackle members because of this little guy here, Erin Hacks. There she is, Erin Hack. I might change the name of it to Erin's Tackle Club. It's annoying, right? I messaged YouTube. I was like, when you give memberships, because I was like, why, when you give membership, do you have to give the blue wench one? Why can't we give the tackle one out? And they said, here's Paddington. They said that they always, if you press membership gifted, no matter what it is, wherever it is, whichever one is closest to $5 is the one they always use as default, which I think is crazy because I thought you could be able to choose. Because I was trying to give some out. I was like, if I want to give the tackle ones out, I don't want to give the blue wench ones out because I give a lot more out for the tackle one. But apparently, no, you can't. It's only the nearest one to $5, which I don't like that. I do not like that. I wish there was an option where you can just, you know, give others out, but there's not. So I don't know. I have to look at that. But that's a pain in the ass. I think more people would give memberships out if it was at the tackle level rather than the blue wench level. Right, are we ready, people? Me and Paddington, we're ready. Let it lick the tackle. I let him lick the tackle a little bit. Look how he loves to lick the tackle. He loves Erin's tackle. So he's back. Me and Pads, we're going to watch this. Right, now this is going to be cross. So here we go, if you're ready.
That top line. You see that top line there, 47976?
Yes.
and then there's 2 lines below that, 47978. You see those lines?
Yes.
You recognize those as being associated with the second location that you went to after the McDonald's, that CVS?
Yes.
To be accurate to say that you were still out of the home at 9:51 in the evening.
Yes.
Would it taken you, what, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes to drive back to the Temple address?
If that. Yes.
Okay, probably about closer to 5 minutes.
Probably.
So then I'd like you to look at line 48008. You see that line?
48008.
Do you see it?
48008. Yes, I do.
That is the line from your timeline report that reflects when you dialed 911 and apparently hit send. You see that?
Yes.
And you see the time, 10:52?
Yes.
So you'd agree with me that the entire sequence of events that you describe having occurred upon your arrival had to have happened in less than an hour.
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, I'm now showing you photographs.
I just noticed this, so I booked it myself just before. You just showed me that for Olive Garden. I never tried Olive Garden.
From the CSI
It's
photo
Italian,
incident,
isn't it?
specifically photograph 3031. Do you recognize that as your vehicle?
Yes.
You recognize that as the vehicle that you were in the drive-thru in?
Yes.
Showing you photograph 3034. You recognize that as Michael's vehicle.
Yes.
Showing you photograph 3574. You recognize the interior of Michael's vehicle.
Yes.
And specifically, you recognize that there are eggshells on the seat right here in the driver's seat.
Yes.
You see that?
I do.
You see the eggshells, you'd agree, here in the sort of door sill as well, correct?
I do.
As well as the egg yolk that's up here near the steering wheel.
Hey, Dirk.
Yes.
Michael didn't egg his own vehicle.
No.
You did.
Yes.
You heard the testimony of Detective Ware that she saw a yolky substance actually on his pants. You heard that testimony?
Yes.
In addition to egging Michael's vehicle, you also threw eggs on Michael's person.
No.
So you don't know how that egg residue got on his pants?
Probably from the car. When he got out, the door was closed when I threw the eggs at the car.
The door was closed when you threw the
I
eggs?
believe so. Yes. I'm assuming when he opened the door, the eggs dropped down and fell into his car.
Okay. And your testimony before this jury is that that incident occurred before Sawyer's football game.
Yes.
So like in the 7 o'clock range.
Yep.
And your testimony before this jury is that you did that. You got eggs, these eggs, I assume,
Yes.
because Michael had taken your cell phone.
Correct.
So your response to Michael taking your cell phone is to go in the home, go in the refrigerator, and get a pack of eggs, correct?
Yes.
Michael is out, he's in his car, and to get your cell phone back, you start pelting his car with eggs.
I threw some eggs at his car. Yes.
You did that before Michael left.
Yes.
So if Michael got eggs in his car, on his person, he of course didn't take apparently any efforts to clean himself off or clean any of the eggs out before he drove off to the football game. Clearly.
Objection, speculation.
Hold on. Overruled. You can answer the question. No, he got in his car and left. I don't think it was that much on his pants either. So,
Got in his car, sat on the eggs, left the eggs in his door sill. Just did nothing about all the eggs and egg yolk that you had just covered him with before he went to this football game.
apparently not.
Is this the best that Cross has got? I mean, if this is what Cross are going about eggs, Jesus Christ. Hiya, Monica. I know you don't like this trial. I know. But you'll be back Monday, hopefully, for the proper trial. But thank you for dropping in a like, Monica. Really appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Was Jaden home during this egg throwing incident?
No, Jaden left. Jaden was gone.
Jaden was home during the incident where you claim that Mr. Redlick broke the door to the primary bathroom.
Both children were home, yes.
Yes?
It's been a while, yes.
You want to look at it?
It's okay. No,
You downloaded your phone?
no, I trust you.
Yeah, so we spent all the first 2.5 hours watching her on the stand for direct. Now she's on Cross. She's just started Cross about 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to watch the whole thing, you'd have to go to day 4 too. But this is a Cross. This is the best bit. Do you know what I mean? Erin.
Your phone was in working order the evening of January 11th into the 12th, correct?
Yes.
Nothing broken about it.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't recall. I don't believe my phone was broken. No, I don't remember that.
Are you saying it's possible it was broken?
Possible because I don't remember, but
Your phone number was 901-355-4234, correct?
yes,
And Michael's phone number was 408-829-1960, correct?
yes,
And you used that cell phone to exchange text messages with Michael frequently.
yes,
Specifically, on the date of the 11th, you exchanged messages.
yes,
You used this phone to sign up for the Meet Mindful account, correct?
I don't know. There was a couple of phones in evidence, so I'm not really sure, but I think I used my email to sign up for Meet Mindful.
Well, you logged, but you browsed to Meet Mindful here on this phone, did
Whatever
you not?
phone I was using, yes.
I'm going to show you what's in evidence in States 44. These are the Meet Mindful records, Ms. Redlick. Look at page 5. And the line became active, 12/5/18. Is that consistent with your recollection whenever you created your account on meetmindful.com?
Sounds about right.
And creating your account on meetmindful.com, you listed your dating status as separated, did you not?
Okay, yes.
That was a lie.
At that point, I suppose, yes.
Ms. Redlick, a little more than a week later, showing you what's in evidence as States 58, the email drafted on 12/14/2018, or sent rather on 12/14/2018, you sent this email. Read the email to the jury, please, Ms. Redlick.
You are a lying, rotten son of a bitch. Nice way to talk about your daughter, too. I'm done with you, Mike. We should talk about any of this. I'm ready. You are the most untrustworthy person I've ever known. I have every right to choose not to be with that kind of person. You had every opportunity to tell me about this the other night. 2012, really.
Ms. Redlick, my understanding from your direct testimony was that you had access to Mr. Redlick's email account, correct?
Yes.
On December 14th, 2018, you went into Mr. Redlick's email account, yes?
I think so, yes.
You were browsing Mr. Redlick's email account back to messages that were sent and received on 2012, correct?
Yeah, I think I was looking through his LinkedIn.
You were looking through his email, not his LinkedIn,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And the messages that you were sort of scrolling through, were all the way back in 2012, correct?
I suppose.
While digging back through time, you come across this particular email. An email between Michael Redlick and someone named E. Corrigan at brooks.edu, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, you explained on direct that Michael was previously married to a woman named Kim Corrigan, did you not?
Yes. Or Corrigan. Yes. I'm not sure the first name.
Well, you said Kim Corrigan in your direct.
I said that name rang a bell. I know he was married to a Corrigan.
Okay. You don't know if this is the same Corrigan.
I think I was tipped off on the LinkedIn first, and I suspected that that was the Corrigan.
But you're not sure.
No.
So not being sure of who this actually was, you sent this email in anger at Mike.
Yes.
You acknowledge that this email is hypocritical, do you not?
I do.
Because at the same time that you were sending this email, you are a couple of, few days past a week into being on Meet Mindful, yes?
Yes.
Matching with people.
I mean, I don't know where he's got. I think Star Wars trying to picture that she's lying. But, dude, come on. We talk about murder. She threw eggs, childish, yes, but who cares? And she's now sent an abusive email, but he sent abusive text. They're both hypocrites. Move on. What the hell are we doing here?
People on Meet Mindful, yes?
Yes.
And exchanging messages with men on Meet Mindful.
Yes.
Michael doesn't know that on December 14th, 2018, does he not?
He does not.
In fact, in December, around this time period, Michael is wanting to make this marriage work.
I was under that impression for the most part.
So yes, he was.
Yes.
Ms. Redlick had not wanted to be married to Michael for years.
No, I wouldn't say that's true.
You wouldn't say that's true.
No, that I didn't want to be married to him for years. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, you had not wanted to be married to Michael for years.
No, I wouldn't say that's true.
You filed for divorce in March of 2019, correct?
Yes.
And you told this jury that after you filed for divorce, Michael started weaponizing the divorce, did he not?
Yes.
He would threaten you with the prospect of basically leaving you destitute,
Yes.
out on the street,
Yes.
with no money
Yes.
and no Winter Park home.
Right.
A couple of months before the actual divorce, he had moved out of about a month after you filed for divorce, he moved out of the house, about April, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and it wasn't even quite a month. It was a couple weeks.
You were happier when Michael wasn't living in that home, were you not?
No, because he was there all the time. And essentially it was like he was still living there. We just weren't.
When Michael wasn't at the house, you were happier.
Not necessarily, no.
So you're not saying that Michael's presence made you unhappy?
Our fighting, and yes, his presence when we're fighting, yes. And
So when you were at the house and Michael wasn't there, that was a better environment for you
for the kids, yes, and yes,
and you.
yes.
You never wanted Michael to move back into that home.
I wanted my marriage to work deep down.
You never wanted Michael to move back into that home. You testified to that on direct, that you did not want him to return.
No, I didn't. Yes.
A life without Michael Redlick was a life that you were looking forward to living.
Well, life at peace with Michael Redlick.
Without him in your life as your husband.
If it was not going to be at peace, then no. But not with no. He's the father of my children. He's not going to be out of my life.
Oh, not entirely, but you wanted a life beyond Michael, correct?
Yes, at that point, yes,
You recognize the name Eric Barker, do you not?
I do.
Eric Barker is a criminal defense attorney, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Can we approach?
And in your direct testimony, you said that you used a, quote, long knife to kill your husband, correct?
Yes.
Which knife did you use to kill your husband?
Long knife with the brown handle.
The one on the floor?
Yes.
You cleaned that knife afterwards, correct?
No.
So that it never made it into the sink?
No.
You said that you used a sharper knife to slit your own wrist, correct?
Yes.
Which knife did you use to slit your wrist?
It's a silver one.
That was in the sink.
I think it was.
So that knife made it into the sink. Did you clean that knife after you slit your wrist?
I don't recall cleaning it. No.
So the knife that you selected to stab your husband was a bit duller, correct?
I suppose.
Let's talk about the actual, or your story regarding the death of your husband. You have told this jury that he has taken a bite of your hamburger, correct?
Yes.
And then he spits it at you,
Yes.
right? It's at this point that you stand up
Yes.
and you grab that McDonald's bag and such, and you begin to throw it on the counter or the island, right?
Right.
Mr. Redlick is behind you,
Yes.
and you feel yourself get hit in the head.
He grabs me and I fall. Then I get hit in the head.
I thought you stumbled.
Yeah. Well, he grabbed me first, which I tried to turn, and then I tripped up on my feet and fell.
So you fall, and then it's while you are still on the ground that you feel something hit your head.
Yes.
Could you tell if it was an object or a fist or something else,
Elbow, fist. I don't know what it was.
but not like a blunt object like a bat or a mallet?
I didn't think it was an object. No.
It's at that point that you are pulled back up by your hair. Is that what happens next?
Well, I attempted to get up on my own, and he was too far on top of me. So
Where are you at when he's now too far on top of you?
coming up, trying to get up off the ground.
Where specifically? Where specifically, or is he too far on top of you to get on top of you?
So am I using this?
Permission to allow witness to use the laser pointer, Your Honor?
Yeah, that's fine. I do this.
I might need to turn it on for you. So, put the laser pointer to where you were whenever he was too far on top of you for you to get up, please.
I'm in this corridor between here and here,
Okay. So,
facing that way, on my knees.
on your knees, facing towards the cabinets on the far wall where the scale is at. Yes? And when you say he's too on top of you to get up, is he actually standing? He's standing over you at this point?
Yes.
And is it this point that he picks you up and by the hair?
No, I'm going to get up like this, and I don't know where exactly he's at, but I know his head slammed into my head.
So as you're getting up, you feel your head on his head.
I feel the back of my head on his head.
Then it's at that point that he takes your head and he slams it onto the stovetop area. Yes?
I wouldn't say right at that point. No. I reached up and with my right hand to pull myself up. And as I'm pulling myself up and trying to turn around to face him, that's when he grabbed my hair and slammed my head onto the.
Slams your head into the stovetop. Yes?
Yes.
And at this point, you have a 6'1", 240-pound man pressed against your body. Yes?
Yes.
Pressing you against that island.
Yes.
The next thing that you say happens is that he begins to take his fist and he's rubbing it in your face. That was your story, right?
Took my head and he held it down. It was a very awkward position. I couldn't move because it was hurting, and yes, he had me pinned. So he held my head down first.
So your neck is sort of like cricked against the corner of that island at that point.
Yes.
Now he's using this force to keep your head down.
Yes.
And he is still on top of you. His 240-pound body is still pressing you into that island.
Yes.
You can feel the island on your body.
Yes.
This is when the rubbing happens.
Yes.
He doesn't hit you
Doesn't punch me, no. Well, he hit me in the back of the head, but
in the back where your hair covers, correct?
yes.
On the skin that's exposed, he doesn't strike. And then is it at this moment that he decides that he's going to put his hands over your nose and mouth?
Yes.
As I understood it, you are at this point sort of turned sort of a little bit over, correct?
Right.
So your side and your arms are sort of being pressed into the island.
Yes.
At this moment, this 240-pound man is putting all of his weight and effort and rage into your body,
Yes.
and you can feel it in your ribs.
No, I can feel it on my face and my head.
You don't remember feeling anything in your ribs as he's crushing you into that island?
I mean, yes, the whole left side of my body was hurting.
So he's on top of you, pressing you with all that rage and all that might, and you are, as I understand it, able to, with him on top, reach over with your left hand or right hand to locate the knife.
My right hand, that was the only free hand I had.
Is his chest on you?
Um,
His chest is sort of pressing into you?
no.
It's more stomach and his arms?
More his legs and his arms, yes.
Okay, so with the free hand, you are able to grab the knife from that far drawer at the end.
Yes.
Your testimony is that he doesn't immediately react to you getting the knife, correct?
He reacts, he lets my head go.
A little bit.
Yes.
And when he lets your head go, you're able to go from sort of this position to more like this position.
Able to break my arm free. Yeah, the left arm.
And now you're kind of squared up with Mr. Redlick.
I wouldn't say squared up. I don't know. It was kind of an awkward feeling, so.
More squared than you were. You're not sort of twisted like you were before.
Right.
You're sort of more
My legs are still kind of twisted, but
like you twisted, but now your back is kind of more square than it was before.
yes.
And Mr. Redlick is still right there pressed up against you.
Yes.
And his reaction to, because he doesn't have his hands on your mouth anymore, right?
Right.
His reaction, and he's still full of this rage, correct?
Yes.
You see it in his eyes.
Yes.
He's angry. And you think that he's going to maybe kill you in this moment.
Yes.
And he sees you with the knife. And his reaction, you say, is he takes his hand and he shoves with all of his might, right?
Yes.
And so now you feel that the edge of that marble pressed into you.
Somewhat, yes.
So he wants to push it now?
Yes. I mean, I felt it, yes.
Because he's pushing hard.
He shoved me, yes. He shoved my face back, yes.
Well, if it wasn't that hard, you should tell the jury. If it wasn't that hard.
It's just that my lower body was kind of twisted, so, and I know what I felt, but, you know, I don't know how it looked.
But you're not saying he didn't use an extraordinary amount of force to sort of push you back against that island, correct?
He absolutely used force to push my head back, yes.
And it's in that moment that you take the knife and you jab it into his shoulder.
Right.
But that doesn't stop him. That doesn't dissuade him, correct?
After he stabbed, yes, after he was stabbed.
Well, yesterday you said that he still kind of kept coming after he was stabbed.
I don't know that I said that.
You said there wasn't an immediate reaction to him being stabbed and that he sort of continued to force himself on you.
When I grabbed the knife and I held it again toward him, he did not stop.
So he stops when he gets stabbed. That's your testimony today.
Yes, I mean, yes.
So you're able to go from sort of this position now more upright.
Yes.
You sort of feel the release of pressure off your back. Yes?
I feel the release and pressure of him off of me.
You feel his hand, which had been forced down your face, come off, correct?
Yes.
And he is standing there and he begins to bleed. Yes?
I don't know. I ran.
You ran. So let's talk about that. You told the 911 operator the altercation started at 10:30, correct?
Yes. I think
You also told the 911 operator that you heard moaning from the bathroom, correct?
I did say moaning at one point.
So when you're in the bathroom and you're hearing moaning, Michael's alive.
Yes.
Do you recall telling the 911 operator that after you emerged from the bathroom, you found Michael on the floor and you tried to give him mouth to mouth? You remember saying that, yes?
That I did what now? I'm sorry.
That you gave him mouth to mouth after you emerged.
Yes.
And you testified to that yesterday.
Yes.
You also talked to Taylor Tucker about that, didn't you?
Yes.
And in fact, you told Carolyn Tucker that you gave him mouth to mouth until you vomited on him, correct?
No, I did not say that. She's totally wrong about that.
She's wrong about that.
Yes.
When you were sitting with Carolyn Tucker, you saw her writing notes when you were talking, right?
I saw her handwriting notes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said I smelled something like vomit from coming, but there was no vomit. I said it smelled like vomit. So she got that wrong.
I want some clarity. So you come out, you say it's about 15 minutes, you think you're in, correct?
I don't really know how long. It was a while. It wasn't quick,
Had to be less than an hour, though, we know.
right?
So when you come out and you see him, you think he might be being dramatic at first, correct?
That was just an initial thought. Yes, I was shocked.
And then there's blood everywhere.
It's quite a bit of blood.
And you're looking at your husband who's on the floor, not responding, yes?
Yes.
And the first thing that you did was you lift his shirt up to look at the wound, correct? Well, let me phrase it like this. You eventually say you do mouth to mouth on him, right?
Yes.
But before you do mouth to mouth, you lift up his shirt and you look at the wound.
Yes.
And you actually press your hand on that wound and watch the blood flow under your fingers.
I don't know that I got on my fingers, but yes, I saw it.
Well, you touched a wound and blood didn't get on you?
I saw blood come out. That's all I recall.
When you pressed on the wound.
Yes.
Then you do the CPR.
Yes.
But before you do the CPR, you are engaged in this effort to find your phone. Can't find your phone, right?
Right.
And you're looking and this phone, you said, it was camouflage. It's camouflage on a black jacket.
Yes.
This phone, right? So it's camouflage on the black jacket. You see it and you get it, right?
Yes.
And you are standing in the immediate proximity of your husband,
Yes.
looking down on him unresponsive,
Yes.
having seen that wound and pressed on that wound and seen the blood flow, yes?
Yes.
And you realize this is serious.
Yes.
And you think to yourself, I should call 911 because he needs help, correct?
Yes.
He needs professionals to come in and try to save his life.
I don't believe that he was dead at that point.
You didn't believe he was dead.
I said I believe he was dead. Yes.
So you did CPR on a dead man?
At that moment, I was hoping that he wasn't.
Okay, so you thought there was a chance that this man could still be safe. Because otherwise you wouldn't have done CPR,
I
right?
suppose, yes.
So you're standing there, you have your phone in your hand, you know, I think this man could be safe. And the best way of saving him is to dial 911, correct, Ms. Redlick?
Yes.
You mentioned on direct that you had no business doing CPR, did you not?
Yes, I'm not trained.
You're not trained, you have no idea how to do CPR.
No.
You've never given mouth to mouth on a person or a dummy or anyone.
No.
So standing there over your husband in this moment where you think he can be saved, knowing that 911 is the route to that possibility,
Yes.
you set your phone down.
Objection, misstating her testimony.
Would you keep your phone in your hand?
I'll sustain that.
I don't remember. I just remember looking at his face and I was freaking out and I'm like, well, and I guess my thought was,
Well, no. I'm not asking what your thought was. And I don't care where your phone was at. What I do care about is you're standing over him. You thought I can call 911 right now. And instead of doing that, Ms. Redlick,
Objection again, misstating her testimony.
I agree, Josie. I think this is a terrible cross. I think this is awful cross.
Overruled.
instead of taking your finger and doing three little moves, 911, you begin to perform amateur CPR on him, correct?
yes.
So you stood in that home with the power to call for help and you let your husband bleed to death on that floor.
He had already bled to death. When I was doing the blowing into his mouth, I was wondering if I could recover him or something. I didn't,
So which is it?
and I thought there.
Objection,
that
can
needed
she
to be
answer
done
the question?
immediately. So
Hold on, stop. Let her finish the question. You said, Ms. Redlick, I was wondering if I could recover him or something. I didn't. And Mr. Wiggins, your question was, so which one is it? That's the last question.
Which one is it? Is he dead or you think it's possible to save
well,
him?
if he could be recovered, something would have to be done immediately. And so, yes, I thought perhaps I should do that.
So are you telling this jury that you thought it was impossible to both dial 911 and do CPR? You
No,
thought it was
it's not
different work?
impossible. No.
So you could have done it
Yes,
and you chose not to.
I dialed 911 right after that.
No. In that moment, you chose not to.
Right.
So in these fleeting moments, you think Mr. Redlick can be saved. You choose not to save him.
I wouldn't put it that way, no.
It is at 10:52 that you make this one and only sort of attempt at a 911 call. You hit 911, 911, correct?
Yes.
And you know that it doesn't connect.
Yes.
No one's on the other end of that attempt.
No.
We're now heading towards 11 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
At 11 o'clock on January 11th, 2019, you knew Mr. Redlick was dead.
Yes.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You were awake.
Yes.
It's at this point you begin to clean up the scene.
Yes, somewhat.
So the cleaning effort starts very shortly after you realize Mr. Redlick is dead.
Yes.
You had your phone in the 11 o'clock hour, correct?
Yes.
You're using your phone in the 11 o'clock hour.
I think I had my phone. Yes.
Well, you were using your phone in the 11 o'clock hour.
I don't know that I was using it.
Well, what hour do you think you started deleting text messages?
I guess it was between 11 and 12 or something like that,
So 11 o'clock hour, you're beginning to delete stuff from your phone, correct?
or midnight hour. Not sure.
Did not call 911 in the 11 o'clock hour.
No.
All right. So now it's midnight. You're still awake
Yes.
and you're still cleaning the house.
No.
So you think your entire cleanup effort was from 11 to midnight?
There was some in the morning too. I don't know. There was an entire hour of cleaning. No.
Was it sort of sporadic through the time that you were awake?
I think it was pretty concentrated in that initial attempt.
And the concentration actually is, you start in the kitchen, do you not, Miss Redlick?
I don't remember where I started. There were towels everywhere. I was slipping in blood. I was just wiping up blood, and
Mops?
the mop I think I used in the kitchen area, but that was it.
You got some cleaner out?
No, I don't remember getting cleaner out.
This is some of the towels and the mop and the bucket that you used when you began to clean the sink, correct?
Hi, Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Tim. Tim, you've been missing in action. We haven't seen you for a while now, Tim. Hope you're well, Tim.
Yes.
And amongst those towels is a t-shirt, correct?
I guess. Yes.
Well, you put it there, right?
I don't remember. I mean, if you're telling me it's there, then it's there.
You doubt that it's there?
No.
You've been sitting through this trial, correct?
Yes.
This is Michael's shirt, correct?
Yes.
You took that shirt off his body, correct?
Yes.
What hour did you decide to start taking his clothes off?
That was when I was assessing the situation.
Well,
When I found him.
yesterday you said you just kind of lifted his shirt up a little bit. You didn't say anything about taking the shirt off yesterday.
Initially, I just lifted the shirt.
So when does the shirt come off?
I don't know. Shortly after that.
Well, hope he's okay, Tim, and obviously thoughts with you. Thoughts with you. I can't sit myself down, Eric. There's nothing I can do. Longer. Any idea how much longer? For what? There's another about 4 and a bit hours today to go.
That had to take a lot of effort, right?
I don't remember.
He's a large man,
Yes.
dead weight,
Yes.
literally, and you have to kind of move him up and wiggle his shirt off, correct?
Yes.
And everything that you have wrought upon him is laid bare to you at this point, correct?
Yes.
And while you're cleaning, you take that shirt and you throw it amongst the towels that you've been using to alter the scene, correct?
No, I think in the morning I was gathering up more towels and putting them in a pile.
So this was part of the morning cleanup.
I believe so. Yes.
Mr. Redlick, I'm showing you photograph 3438. This is the kitchen area, correct?
Yes.
This is right next to the knife you said you used to kill your husband, correct?
Yes.
This would have been one of the areas that you got the mop out for, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of blood in this area.
Yes.
And would this have been part of the nighttime cleaning or the morning cleaning?
The mopping?
Yes.
I want to say it was at night.
Think you use the mop both at night and in the morning?
No, I don't think so.
So mop at night, mop and towels at night, but just towels in the morning?
I was just picking up the towels in the morning.
Okay, so it is now 1 o'clock in the morning. You're awake.
You might be still awake. Yes.
You were awake, correct? Are you still cleaning at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No.
You were cleaning after midnight, yes?
Times are, I'm not real positive, but
You have your phone, yes?
yes.
You know Mr. Redlick is dead on the floor, yes?
Yes.
And you do not call 911.
No.
You would have this jury believe that you fell asleep next to your dead husband, correct?
Proper question. Objection and proper question.
What's the question?
You would have this jury believe that you fell asleep next to your dead husband,
Yes, eventually.
and that would have been in the 1 o'clock hour, correct?
Don't know exactly when I fell asleep.
Could have been later than 1 o'clock.
Don't know.
You believe you woke up at 7 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
And you wake up at 7, you still have your phone,
Yes.
it's still working.
Yes.
And you begin sort of, at this point now, we know, picking up towels and sort of tidying things up some more.
I don't know if I did it right at that moment.
Okay. Could have been a little later.
Yeah.
At some point, Ms. Redlick, you turned the focus from cleaning the house to cleaning yourself, correct?
I think I rinsed my hands a couple times. Yes.
You went in the shower and you were cleaning blood off yourself.
No, I was near the linen closet at that point. I do remember touching that handle. I think I attempted to, I don't know if I actually turned it on or not, but I was thinking about washing my hand under the shower head at that point as I was,
Went over to the sink and tried to wash yourself up?
I might have washed my hands there. Yes.
Was this in the morning or in the evening?
I don't remember.
Clean yourself more than once?
I don't remember. I didn't clean myself up very much at all. I changed my pants in the morning.
As part of your cleaning effort,
Hi, Tracy.
you started throwing things away. Yes?
Yeah, I believe.
That's Tracy.
This is part of the morning cleanup.
I believe so. Yes.
And it appears at some point during this cleanup, Ms. Redlick, that you get thirsty, right?
No.
Well, you handle that jug of milk with blood on it, with blood on your hands, correct?
Yes, I did.
So were you modifying the scene or were you getting a glass of milk?
The milk was out on the counter. I gave Sawyer a glass of milk the night before.
So this was part of changing the scene, modifying the scene.
I walked
Objection,
to the
argument.
kitchen And I threw away.
Ms. Redlick, hold on.
I'm sorry.
You say it's argumentative?
Yes.
No. Overruled. You can answer that.
Okay, and the question is again, I'm sorry.
Where was it, Ms. Redlick?
On the counter?
Where on the counter?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But we're talking about in the kitchen area.
Yes.
Hadn't been knocked over in this whole attack, correct?
It's a big kitchen area. There's a lot of counter. No, I don't believe it was knocked over.
But you can't remember.
No.
But it's out in the area where you say this attack occurred, and you're picking it up and you're putting it away.
I don't know that it was in the exact spot of the attack because that's the stovetop, so it was in a different area.
You mentioned the stovetop. Is that as the stovetop, Ms. Redlick?
I do.
What's that just placed there on the stovetop?
It's a lemon.
As part of your cleanup effort, that in the area that you say this attack occurred, there was blood from Michael, correct?
Not in that direct area that the stovetop, in front of the stovetop, no.
So he didn't bleed much in front of the stovetop.
I didn't notice any blood there, no.
Not much cleaning to do in the area of the attack.
No.
Okay. So 7 o'clock, you begin to search how to slit your wrists, correct?
Yes,
And your explanation for why you began to do this is you began to think about your kids, correct?
yes,
And so while you think about your kids and you think about beginning to take your own life.
very irrational, yes.
We move to the 8 o'clock hour. Miss Redlick, you still have your phone. You do not call 911.
No.
You are continuing to tidy up the house, correct?
I don't know what I was doing at that point.
Possible that you're still engaging in moving things around and picking things up, yes?
Possible.
And in the 8 o'clock hour, you are continuing to search on how to slit your own wrists, right?
I don't remember. If it's on there, then yes.
Looking at the timeline report, help refresh your recollection.
No, I believe you. It's fine.
Well, I don't want you to believe me. It's what I say doesn't matter. It's what you say. Do you remember looking up how to slit
I'd
your
have to
wrist?
see it then.
Okay, let's see it. I'm at 38 seconds. How long to die before you slit your wrists?
Okay, yes,
So 8 o'clock hour on your phone, using your phone to Google how to slit your wrist, correct?
yes.
It would be accurate to say that if you're still Googling how to slit your wrist, you haven't slit your wrist yet. You to do Google searches on how to slit your wrist in that 821 range, correct?
Yes,
You do not flip over to the phone app and dial 911 at this point, correct?
correct.
Now we move to the 9 o'clock hour. Have you slit your wrist yet?
I don't know.
How soon before you call 911 did you slit your wrists?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Well, how long did you let yourself bleed, Miss Redlick, before you dialed 911?
I don't remember how long I bled. I just don't remember. I don't know.
Was it an hour? You let yourself bleed for an hour?
Let myself bleed. I don't know that you can stop yourself from bleeding.
You're right. That's a bad question. Did you let yourself bleed without calling 911 for an hour?
I don't know. I don't. Yes, yes. If at that point I slit my wrist, then yes.
Well, at what point did you slit your wrist? You haven't said.
I don't remember. I don't.
So let's look at the knives, Miss Redlick. This is the knife you killed Michael Redlick with.
It's the knife I stabbed him with. Yes,
It's the knife that caused him to die.
yes.
Is that where you dropped it and left it after you stabbed him?
No, I didn't drop it. I left it with him.
You left it with him?
I didn't drop the knife onto the ground.
Yesterday, in your direct examination, you said that the knife just kind of dropped
I let go of the knife.
and gravity acted upon it.
I guess it dropped. I don't know. I didn't see it. I ran the opposite direction.
And actually, yesterday, you said that you felt like the attack was still ongoing, right? It had not ceased.
Yes,
And while the attack is still ongoing, you let go of this deadly instrument, correct?
when the attack was still ongoing was after I let go, meaning
Yes, you felt the attack was still ongoing after you stabbed him.
yes,
And in that moment where you say the attack was still ongoing, you let go of the weapon and it drops, or not. I don't know what your testimony is today, correct?
he let go of me and then I let go.
But you thought the threat was still there
Yes,
and you let go of the weapon
yes,
in the immediate proximity of your attacker, correct?
yes,
And turned your back on him.
because he let me go.
But you thought the attack was still coming.
I thought perhaps it could.
That is not the final resting place of the knife, is it, Miss Redlick?
I don't, it very well could not be. I don't,
Because you're mopping in that area.
right.
You would have picked the knife up that you used to kill Mr. Redlick at some point. Yes?
I could have touched the knife, yes.
Well, it's not could have, Ms. Redlick. You know what you did. What did you do?
Objection, argumentative.
Tell this jury what you did with the knife after you emerged and Mr. Redlick is dead on the floor.
Objection, can counsel ask questions?
I don't understand, what's the question again?
Mr.
Ms. Redlick,
Yeah.
tell this jury what you did with the knife after you emerged and found Mr. Redlick dead on the floor.
I didn't do anything with the knife. At some point it might have gotten moved when I was moving things, the towels and stuff.
Was there someone else in the house?
No,
So when you say it might have gotten moved, who moved it?
he or I.
So you're saying Mr. Redlick moved the knife?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what, I don't understand the question.
The question is, I want to know what you did with the murder weapon after you murdered Mr.
Objection,
Redlick.
argumentative.
Overruled.
I stabbed him and I ran to the bathroom. So I don't know what happened to the knife at that point.
Okay.
However, it could have possibly been on the floor there and I never picked it up to clean it or do any of that. So
So is that your testimony? Your testimony is that you clean up the McDonald's and you move the milk and you get the mop out, but the murder weapon you leave right where you found it. Is that your testimony to this jury?
I don't know that I found it per se there. It could have been moved. However, I was not intending to touch that. Yes.
It's still not clear to me whether you touched it or not. Did you touch the knife?
I might have, yes.
You remember?
I also knew it was what I used to stab him. So, you know,
Okay, so you might have. So we'll leave it at that, Ms. Redlick. The knife that you used to slit your own wrists,
yes,
is it that silver knife right here?
that's it. Yes,
That's the sharp knife that you used to slit your own wrists.
yes.
And after you slit your wrist, you put it in the safe.
Well, that was after I slit my wrist. I think this was all before 911.
Where'd you slit your wrist at?
Um,
In the home.
I don't even remember that.
Ms. Redlick, you did not slit your wrist because you wanted to be with Michael in the afterlife, did you?
I don't know if I was thinking rationally about anything at that.
Ms. Redlick, you slit your wrist because you didn't want to be in that chair answering for what you're having to answer for today. Isn't that true?
There were a lot of things going through my mind.
And that was one of them. You didn't want to have to answer for what you did. And so that's why you slit your wrists.
I was concerned. I was afraid.
One of the reasons why you slit your wrists is because you didn't want to have to answer.
Objection,
for what you
asked
did.
and answered.
Didn't answer my question.
Objection is overruled. Repeat your question, Mr. Wiggins.
One of the reasons why you slit your wrists is because you didn't want to have to answer for what you did.
I suppose that could be one.
Okay. Ms. Redlick, it is only when you are bleeding that you dial 911, correct?
After I was bleeding, yes.
So after you bleed is when you use your finger to make those 3 motions.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Redlick, let's talk about a few other things. I'd like to discuss some of the statements that you've made through the course of this case. You admit now in trial that you killed your husband, correct?
Yes.
On January 18th, 2019, law enforcement showed up at your house. They showed up to execute a search warrant.
Yes.
Execute a search warrant on your person to get a DNA standard from you, correct?
Yes.
And to search your home, correct?
Yes.
You were at your home when the police arrived,
Yes.
and you were placed into a vehicle by Detective Ware.
Yes.
And you recall her reading a search warrant to you.
Yes.
Let's play that portion, Ms. Redlick. Okay, we're going to publish what's in evidence as States 41. And we're going to start from the 5-minute and 20-second mark, Ms. Redlick.
Needed without coming back before the court. A proper inventory and receipt shall be given for any evidence seized, and a completed duplicate copy of the search warrant shall be delivered to Danielle Redlick or left with his or her property. An original of the search warrant and return reporting the execution of the warrant and an inventory of any evidence or property seized under the search warrant shall be filed with the court within 10 days of the date of issuance. It is further directed that any evidence or property seized under this warrant shall be brought before a court in a proper jurisdiction to be disposed of. I did not murder my husband. Please, I don't understand the start into law upon request, ordered and sealed this 16th day of January 2019, signed by Judge Gail A. Adams. Okay. That I don't understand. You're saying the saliva when I tried to, when there was resuscitation done, that's second-degree murder? No, I'm collecting saliva samples from you, as is in this warrant, to be tested. Because of the resuscitation? Because of.
Ms. Redlick, you just heard yourself tell Detective Ware that you did not murder your husband. You heard that?
Yes.
You were lying to her when you told her that, correct?
I stabbed my husband. I don't consider it. Wasn't considering that murder.
Oh, so what you were trying to get across is that you acted in self-defense in this passage.
Yes, I wasn't trying to get it across, but yes.
That's what you thought you were communicating.
No, I didn't think I was communicating that necessarily.
No, because actually what you say right after that is, why would you want my DNA? Was it for the saliva for the resuscitation? That's what you say next, correct?
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
You were trying to give the impression that the only reason that your DNA would be on Mr. Redlick is because you tried to save him. That's the impression you were trying to give.
I wasn't trying to give any impressions. I was trying to get some impressions. I was curious as to what was happening.
You were trying to throw her off the scent, possibly.
Do what now?
You were trying to throw her off the scent. You were trying to give her the impression that you were not involved in this crime, correct?
I don't know if I was trying to give her any impression. I just hadn't been able to tell my story.
Okay. Let's listen to another piece of audio, Ms. Redlick. If we go back in time just a little bit, you reached out to Detective Ware, and you got a call back from her. Yes?
Yes,
And this was on the 13th of 2018 in January.
I think so, yes.
You had been in the Bake Rack facility,
Yes,
and they came to you and they gave you the phone. Yes?
no.
Well, you got on the phone, right?
Oh, I thought you meant my phone.
You were on the phone with Detective Ware.
Yes.
Okay. Let's listen to a portion of what's in evidence at States 40.
This is where the arrangements because of his religion that needs to be taking place, you know, things like that.
Yeah, and also, I just like that happened to people last night when I was transferred over to unit, and I saw news other story saying this is such a death there, and so I don't know that, and I know that rules at the same time. What are you telling people? And I was, you know, how do we move forward on this? Do you want to?
That's really up to you. Now if you
I report to the dispatcher when I call what happens, so I
Did you hear yourself tell Detective Ware in that phone call, I reported to the dispatcher what had happened when I called? You heard yourself say that, correct?
Yes,
That's my only question at the moment. When you told Detective Ware that you already gave your story to the dispatcher, you wanted Detective Ware to believe that you had told the truth to the dispatcher, correct?
that absolutely wasn't the full story, so
No. Answer my question. You wanted Detective Ware to believe that you had told the truth to the dispatcher, correct?
yes.
And because if she had believed that you told the truth to the dispatcher, you wouldn't be sitting where you're sitting right now, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
No, I asked if I could move.
He's not here.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that-
Okay, let's keep playing.
wanted to just look into it from there, and then find, I thinking, you know, the wrong things or whatever.
Right, so what you saw on the news is the only thing that we released to the media. Nothing else is going to be released.
You didn't want people thinking that you had taken your husband's life, correct?
I had not been able to tell the whole story yet, so.
You didn't want people thinking that you had taken your husband's life,
I
correct?
murdered my husband, correct.
Let's go to the 11-minute mark of this conversation.
501-1302.
And I was told that you were the one that informed the children that about that.
So I was not the one. My sergeant was there, and also the victim service center. A lady from the victim service center in Orange County, she actually did the notification to the children.
Okay. So do you know what they were told?
They were just told that your husband had passed away and that you were in the hospital. And that was it.
And so no one asked how?
No.
Okay.
And even if they did, we wouldn't have given them that information.
Okay, so that's just not being released yet, so you guys further to them on your end, is that correct?
Correct. That won't be released.
Okay. All right, do you have any other advice or questions for me at this point?
No, just if you have any other questions, you are more than willing to reach out and contact me, and I'll get back to you.
Well, I'm not going to talk, I just want to make sure that that's okay, right, that I'm not opposed to it at all. I told everybody the story here. And I guess yesterday was just filling up with, just not knowing, these situations are for you, not perfect clarity when you're dealing with them. So, yeah, I might just, call that, and then, perhaps I give you a call back and explain to you what they're trying to do else, or I don't know if you have access to the reports or not, but.
Ms. Redlick, you just heard yourself tell Detective Ware, I'm willing to talk. I've already told other people in here what happened, correct? You heard yourself say that.
Yes, I did.
And then you went on to say, perhaps I'll give you a call back and explain to you what I've explained to everyone else. You heard yourself say that, correct?
I think I heard that.
You want to hear it again?
No, it's okay.
Well, if you doubt it, I'll play it again.
I don't doubt it. It's okay.
So did you say that?
Yes.
I just think that what the fuck is he doing? I mean, Jesus, don't be so aggressive, dude. He's lost me already.
One of the people that you've told your story to in the Baker Act facility is Frederick Copeland, correct?
I think he overheard what I was telling. I might have told him bits and pieces, yes.
The story you told Mr. Copeland was that Mr. Redlick stabbed himself, correct?
He said that I did, then maybe I did. I don't remember saying that.
You told Mr. Copeland that Michael Redlick had stabbed himself, correct?
Yes.
You lied to Mr. Copeland.
Yes.
You wanted Mr. Copeland to believe you.
I don't know that it mattered what Mr. Copeland thought at that point to me.
Well, you actually suggest to Detective Ware, hey, you should go talk to the people I've already talked to in here because I've told them the story, right?
I think I was just referring to, I hadn't got to the full story yet.
Miss Redlick,
Yes.
you tell Frederick Copeland a lie about what happened, right?
Objection, asked and answered.
You invite Detective Ware to come interview one of the people who you lied to, correct?
Okay, yes.
Because you wanted Detective Ware to hear the lie you had told.
I think I was wanting her to talk to me, or I was ready to talk, period.
I'm not talking about you, Miss Redlick. I'm talking about you wanted Detective Ware to hear the lie you had told Frederick Copeland.
No, I wanted her to hear from me.
Do you dispute that you didn't invite her to go talk to the people you've already talked to?
I know I said that. I think I was just saying that I was prepared to talk, that I'm, that's something that I want to do. So,
Another person that you spoke to in the facility was Carolyn Tucker, correct?
yes,
And you gave Ms. Tucker a detailed account of what happened, right?
I would say yes.
And you told Ms. Tucker about the Sam Cady comment, correct?
I did.
So, and you actually told Ms. Tucker that Michael said the comment Sam Cady more than once.
her details were very
No,
off, in
you're
my
not. You're not here to comment on another witness. You're here to answer questions, Ms. Redlick. Did you tell Ms. Tucker that Michael Redlick had made this Sam Katie comment on more than one occasion?
No,
You told Ms. Tucker that Michael had come to the bathroom door and yelled Sam Katie, didn't you?
no,
Well, you told the jury on direct that Mr. Redlick had said Sam Katie once, right?
yes,
And that would have been, well, you're still at the breakfast nook.
right,
Before he takes a bite of the hamburger.
yes,
Let's talk about Sam Katie, Ms. Redlick. Are you saying that this is from the movie Cape Fear?
yes,
And this is a movie that you watched a little less than 3 weeks before you took your husband's life.
yes,
And you told this jury that Michael Redlick is standing before you and he is saying Sam Katie, which is a name, right?
yes,
And he's saying it at you.
yes,
And you told this jury that he's saying, and he only said it once, right?
I think it was just once, yes,
And you told this jury that Sam Katie is the bad guy in the movie.
yes,
Ms. Redlick, there's no character named Sam Katie in Cape Fear, is there?
Objection, counsel testifying.
I thought there was.
Would you're not sure? You can't remember?
Now that the way you're asking me, I'm not sure, but I thought I was sure.
Okay, so you're not sure. Would looking at a page from IMDb maybe help refresh your recollection?
What's IMDb?
You know, where they have the cast and crew of a movie. You think that would refresh your recollection of whether that character exists?
Okay,
You think?
yes,
Like, who cares? She caught a character wrong. Who cares? We get characters wrong all the time. Is this the best they got? Is this it?
IMDb.
Yes.
Ms. Redlick, I'm showing you a printout from Cape Fear IMDb,
mhm.
and I'm going to go to the second or third page. And who did you say played Sam Katie?
Robert De Niro?
But you'll look at the name of Robert De Niro's character,
Max Katie,
and I want you to look at the name of Nick Nolte's character.
Sam Bowden.
Okay. So there is no Sam Katie in this, correct?
I guess I got the name mixed up.
You got the name mixed up.
Yes,
What the hell?
and I just recall that being it.
Are you sure this really happened?
Yes,
This is ridiculous.
Cape Fear is
Is it the best you've got? If this is the best he's got, what are we doing? Oh my god, this is embarrassing.
about a man who's terrorizing two women, is it? It's actually about a convict who is trying to punish the lawyer who didn't get him off.
right, which entails terrorizing his wife.
You told Ms. Tucker that you did not call 911 because you couldn't find your phone, correct?
Yes,
That was a lie.
yes,
You told Ms. Tucker that Michael took the knife from your hand. That was a lie.
I don't believe I said that.
Well, you told Ms. Tucker that he made a stabbing motion toward himself, correct?
He said, "What are you going to stab me?" That's what I believe I told her.
And you told her something. If that was an exact quote, you gave Ms. Redlick the impression that Mr. Redlick disarmed you and had the knife, correct?
Yes,
And that was a lie.
yes,
Lie to Ms. Tucker, did they?
no,
You chose to lie.
I lied.
You chose to lie.
Yes,
You lied to Marcia Inglis.
no, I never spoke to Marsha Inglis from the hospital.
But Marcia Inglis overheard your statement, right?
Which one?
The one where you called and you said that your husband died of a heart attack.
I didn't say that. Said I'm waiting on the autopsy report, which wasn't released for weeks until I was actually after I was arrested. I still didn't know exactly.
Okay. Ms. Redlick, you are willing to lie if you think it'll serve your interests, correct?
No,
Well, you thought it served your interest to lie to the folks that we've talked about thus far, right?
I think it served my interest of being confused and not knowing how to handle the situation.
The lie was serving your interests. You admit that.
Yes,
So you were willing to lie if it serves your interests.
yes,
You lied to the ER doctor, or did you not?
Oh, no.
Did you tell the truth to the ER doctor?
I don't remember speaking to the ER doctor.
Wow, this is so dumb. She lied, yeah. I
That's
mean,
Michael
most
Redlick,
people
right?
lie.
Yes.
Let's talk about the 911 call, Ms. Redlick. It has been 11 hours since he's been moved from that location, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
When you pick up the phone to dial 911, it has been 11 hours since Mr. Redlick has been moved from that location,
Yes.
except when you're taking his shirt off, right?
Yes.
And mopping around him.
Right.
And moving his arm to clean under it.
Yes.
Other than that, he hasn't moved
Yes.
for 11 hours. Yes?
Yes.
You had had nearly half a day to figure out what you were going to say on the 911 call.
Objection, Judge, can we approach?
Yes.
I mean, waiting 11 hours is a bit much. Do you know what I mean? She's lied. Yes, she has lied. But come on, dude.
Ms. Redlick, you've had nearly half a day to figure out what to say, correct?
Yes.
And you are standing in the home with that hand in that position when you finally pick up the phone, correct?
Yes.
And you know he's dead. There's no question. You know he's dead.
Yes.
Publishing what's in evidence is States 32. So that's the first dispatcher you talked to, right?
Okay, yes.
You talked to two dispatchers, right?
I didn't know that I did.
Well, do you want to listen to confirm?
No, it's okay.
No, it's important. So if you're not sure, let's confirm.
No, I talked to two dispatchers.
So you do know that.
Okay, yes.
So that's the first dispatcher you speak to, right?
Yes.
And you tell the first dispatcher that you speak to, quote, "I think my husband is deceased," end quote, right?
Yes.
That's a lie. You knew he was deceased.
Okay, yes.
That was a lie. Yes?
I said I think.
Yes, you said "I think" when you knew.
Probably just an excited utterance. Yes, I knew. Of course I knew.
Of course you knew. Yep.
1231 Temple Drive, Woodard Park. Yes, you know what, my shirt is, let me get, verify this on the other line, hold on one moment. This is the one with a medical transfer for 1231 Temple Drive in Woodard Park. Right? Okay, thank you. What's the line, 1231 Temple Drive? My husband is deceased.
Now you've told a second 911 operator, "I believe my husband is deceased." You heard yourself say that?
Yes, I did.
You knew your husband was deceased, didn't you?
I did. It
So you lied to that 911 operator.
was just a figure of speech.
It is a false impression, isn't it?
I can't answer that. I don't know what the person thought.
No, you were giving a false impression that you have some confusion about the state of your husband's.
No, I don't think that was in my head at all.
If I believe you. I just, he said that this is really my heart attack, I don't know how.
Okay. You were asked why, and you say he's stiff, he's wounded, he might have had a heart attack. I don't know. You heard yourself say that, right? You did not believe that your husband had a heart attack.
Actually, I did. I was hoping too.
You were hoping.
Not in the morbid sense that I wanted him dead, but he had had heart problems, and I thought with all of that excitement that perhaps he did.
So because if he had a heart attack, you wouldn't have been responsible for his death.
Yes. To an extent.
But you knew he hadn't had a heart attack. You knew it.
Objection asked and answered.
I could not completely rule that out.
Standing there, having mopped up all that blood, taking all these towels, stuffed in his bag, and soaked them through with Michael's blood. You thought that it was possible he had died of a heart attack.
Thought there was a possibility. It was very quick, and I just wasn't.
No, actually, not last night. It happened last night. Okay. This morning, so that you said that you believe it happened last night. Did you see him last night? Was he okay or what? He was not okay last night. We had all the cases and it happened so, and I ran.
So you were asked what happened, and you explained we had an altercation and he stabbed himself. This was a lie, Ms. Redlick.
Yes.
And you wanted this 911 operator to believe your lie, correct?
Yes.
You know, I kind of also met him this wife, what? You think I asshole now, and then right, yes. All right. And then I told him,
You were asked again. You say he stabbed himself. And your response, correct, yes. You heard yourself say that?
Yes.
That was a lie too.
Yes.
So you've lied now twice.
Yes.
and I thought I woke up sitting up next to him, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. Right. I got nominated to come out, you all had an altercation last night, correct? Yeah. All right. Are there any weapons on scene now? A knife. It said it was 64, right? 65. I'm sorry. 65. 65. So, okay. Go ahead and give me your birthday with you, because I want to call you later. Danielle? Danielle. Okay, so Danielle, let me ask you this. So did he stab himself last night? Did he pass last night? And you just didn't know what to do?
For a third time in this call, you have said that Michael stabbed himself, correct?
Yes.
And this is the third time you've lied.
Yes.
You want this 911 operator to believe this lie, correct?
Yes.
Were you all drinking? He was. Yes, he was. When the officer was 942, so I left the house. And so my mom was because he was dating them too. Were your kids there last night during this altercation? No, they were not. They were not here, and they're not here now. I know you first said that you thought he had a heart attack. So do you think it was a heart attack, or do you think it was due to the fact that he passed away? Probably just aggravated it, I guess. I don't know. It's a shoulder wound. You think it's a shoulder wound? Right. I'm just getting all this information. Okay. I'm just getting everything you told me for the holiday. I have more to do. I have to get
your husband's first name? Michael, what's the last name? R-E-D-L-E-C-K. What is his neighbor? 5153. Yeah, you're right. So you're still not doing it. Okay. No, we're not. You go ahead and move that house away. So my unit will be able to get in there. Are you able to put that? Okay. Where's the knife? In the kitchen. Okay. R-E-D-L-E-C-K. Go ahead and verify your phone number for me. 901-355-1434. And what time do you think you are at our patient and staff and stuff? I think it started around 10:30. He was actually joking me and trying to put the patient first. I actually went for the knife. And he was screaming, "Are we gonna do this? Did we do that?" And he grabbed it.
To the 911 operator, you told her that Mr. Redlick choked you, didn't you?
I think I said choked, yes.
You said choked.
Yes.
You have not testified to this jury that you've been choked by
No.
Mr. Redlick.
No.
So that was a lie.
Wrong choice of word, yes.
Not the truth.
No.
So therefore a lie.
Wrong choice of word.
Let's back it up a little bit.
I was gonna do this, did we do that? And he grabbed it. And that's when he did it in the emotion and I ran out of the room.
You heard yourself say that he grabbed it, correct?
Yes.
That was a lie.
Yes.
And because the knife was never in his hand.
No.
And when you said he made a motion, that was a lie.
I felt like he made a motion where he going to stab me.
Is that what you were communicating there, Ms. Redlick?
I thought I was.
No, Ms. Redlick, you know that you were saying.
Objection,
He had the knife in
argumentative,
his hand.
objection, argument.
Sustained, rephrase your question.
Ms. Redlick, when you said he grabbed it and he made a motion, you were describing Mr. Redlick with the knife in his hand making a motion towards himself, correct?
At that point, yes.
And that's a lie.
Yes.
That's a detailed lie, correct?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
You are making up specific details to build out this lie, are you not?
I think I'm mixing some of the truth with some of the false.
Oh, so you're mixing truth and false.
Yes.
I want to focus on the false.
Okay.
You are creating details that are not real to make this lie more convincing, correct?
No, I just don't know what to say. I wasn't prepared to answer yes the way I should have.
Ms. Redlick, you are willing to make up specific and detailed lies when they serve your interests, are you not?
Willing. I guess in this instance, I did do that. Yes.
You are willing to make specific and detailed lies if you believe it will serve your interests, correct?
In that instance, yes.
You had hoped that this 911 operator and anyone who heard this recording would have believed those specific and detailed lies you told, correct?
No, I don't think I was thinking that intensely about it in terms of people believing it at that point. The situation was an entire mess, and I knew that.
And we need to go back to the second one more. Did you stay there? No, I think that was for a while. He came to the house door, it was closed, and he was doing himself. I was trying to get away from him. I heard some moaning and stuff, and I was scared. I probably went to check on him, and I didn't see that he got it. And I was looking at his blood, and the heavily bloody. So I tried to. I was like, I was trying to give him knock him out. Is there a reason why you didn't call last night? Yeah, looking at him, moving your plate, and I think I was leaving. I was just trying to get him to wake up.
You told the 911 operator that the reason why you didn't call was because you were too busy trying to wake him up, correct?
Yes.
That was a lie.
Wait, what?
The reason why you didn't call 911 was because you were too busy trying to wake Michael up.
And I wasn't sure if people would believe me. Like I said.
And I was lost after I fell asleep sitting on that. Yeah, I hurt myself this morning. It doesn't look good. The emergency people are here. He's breathing stuff. I was just trying to get him to wake up. And I was lost after I fell asleep sitting on that.
You said at the end of that call, before you noticed police and fire out front, it doesn't look good for me.
Yes.
That's the truth, Ms. Redlick. It doesn't look good.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained, rephrase your question.
I have no further questions of this witness.
Council approach.
Hi, Ms. Redlick. On December 18th, when you sent the email to your husband, did you attack him that day?
December 18th?
December 18th of 2018, you saw the email that Mr. Wiggins had started with. Do you recall what I'm asking about?
No.
Did you attack him that day?
No.
Did you stab him that day over an email?
No.
The state attorney had asked about it, Mr. Barker. You spoke with in regards to the case, another attorney, not myself.
Yes.
Is that a person that visited you to talk about the case?
Yes.
When was that? If you don't know the day, but roughly when was that?
Right after, very beginning of the arrest, or right after the arrest?
It was after you were arrested?
Yes.
So while you were in jail?
Yes.
Spoke about attempting CPR, mouth to mouth,
Yes.
on Michael after you found him.
Mhm.
During that time, during that attempt, did it become clear to you at that point that your husband was dead?
Yes.
How did it become clear to you at that point that he was dead?
It was largely clear to me before that. However, he still wasn't moving or responding or anything, breathing.
When you called 911 the first time, was it clear to you that he was dead at that point?
Yes.
Nothing changed. You never at any point unbelieved that he was dead.
Objection, leading.
I'll rephrase this. Did you ever change your opinion that you believed he was dead?
No.
State attorney showed you the phone activity in the timeline report. Not sure where it is over here, but you recall that? Showing what you were searching for online?
Yeah.
Do you recall that night ever searching for how to clean up blood?
No.
Do you recall that night ever searching for how to clean up a crime scene?
No.
Do you recall that night ever searching for how to dispose of evidence?
No.
Do you recall that night ever searching for how to get rid of evidence?
No.
Do you recall that night ever searching for tampering with a crime scene?
No.
From you in your home.
Objection, scope directed of cross.
Is there a lake across the street from your home?
Objection.
Judge, may I answer that? May I answer that? May I respond to that? You need to first. Or smothering.
I think smothering is more in lines of what was happening.
Mr. Wiggins had asked you several times if you felt that your husband had died of a heart attack. Seeing it, and then again asked you, did he die of a heart attack? Is that a yes?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
Said he asked
No,
me.
no, no, stop. Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Ms. Redlick, did you think that the wound to your husband's shoulder was enough to kill him?
Objection asked and answered in direct.
Overruled.
Why not?
It seemed to be a shoulder wound. Just not something that I would associate with someone dying from.
State attorney had asked you multiple times on, so I'm explaining the question and where I get to my question. Several times, if you were willing to lie to serve your own ends. Willing to lie in court after taking the oath?
Objection, improper bolstering. Move to strike.
Sustained, and it will be stricken. The jury is to disregard that. The next question, Mr.
Judge, may I respond to that?
I've made my ruling. I'm not changing it. Ask your next question.
I have no further questions.
For the morning, the deputy will escort you out. You have your notebooks there, and be mindful not to talk about the case while you are out on break.
Oh, I missed that bit then. Oh, don't break.
Scheduling update. We have one witness who will be testifying virtually, and that witness is not available until noon. My understanding is that it won't be a long direct and cross-examination and redirect. So we're going to work through the morning. It's 11:15 now, so we'll work through the morning. And then at noon, we won't break for lunch right then. We'll have the witness appear virtually. And after that witness's testimony is done, then we will take our lunch break. And it'll still be for the hour and a half, but it's just not going to be at noon. Okay. Ms. Conlon.
Yes, at this time, defense calls Dr. Sarah Zadovich.
Sarah Sadovich. Dr. Sarah Zadovich. So what do we think about that? How did she do overall in the cross and direct and everything? I think she did all right. Don't think she's that bad. Zadovich.
Please swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Sarah Sadovich, doctor.
Ms. Conlon.
Thank you. Doctor, as part of the autopsy, did you have toxicology testing done on Michael Redlick?
Yes,
And
Oh,
you did this on his blood, is that right?
blood, yes,
Did it show if Michael Redlick had consumed alcohol prior to his death?
yes.
How much?
I can't tell you exact amount, but the blood alcohol concentration was 0.90 decibels per liter, per milliliters.
And that's above the
Medical
legal limit to
examiner.
drive, right?
Yes,
Now, caffeine also showed up on the toxicology.
yes.
but it did not quantify how much.
Correct.
And supplements can contain caffeine.
Yes.
The testing done in this case did not test for testosterone,
Yeah, it did not.
but additional testing is available for testosterone.
There can be testing done for that. Yes.
No further questions.
Get the shut. What?
Now, the alcohol, that didn't affect the cause or manner of death, correct?
Correct.
And the caffeine, that didn't affect the cause and manner of death either, correct?
Correct.
And there was nothing else in Michael's system, correct?
Correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Very much, Doctor. You may sit.
Is that
Your
it?
next witness, please.
You
Jennifer
bought it.
Brown.
You bought it back for just for that. That's a dick move. Only because I'm gonna write this down again now. Jennifer Brown. Jennifer Brown.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Brown, would you please state your full name for the record? Spell your first and last name.
Yes, Jennifer Brown, JENNIFER BROWN.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, what is your occupation?
I'm a registered nurse.
And do you know Danielle Redlick?
I do.
How do you know Danielle Redlick?
I know Danielle through our sons being friends.
What are the names of your sons?
My son is Brian, her son's Sawyer.
Are they friends?
Currently, they haven't talked.
But at the time of 2019, were they friends?
Yes.
How long did you know Danielle?
Since the boys were in first grade together, so that would be approximately 7 years, 8 years.
What would be the reason? Did you have a chance to see Danielle during those 7 or 8 years when your boys were friends?
Yes.
And what was the reason that you would see Danielle?
No, this is defense.
When I would drop my son off to hang out with her son at their house or for a sleepover, things like that.
Ms. Brown, have you ever observed any injuries to Danielle?
Yes, one time.
And when was that?
That was in the spring of 2018.
Yeah.
Can't recall which month, but sometime in the spring between March
Yes.
and May.
So let's describe, let's get back to what you observed. Where were you and Danielle when you observed this injury?
She had come to my house to come pick up my son Brian for the day. She was going to take him and her son Sawyer to go do something for the day.
And what did you observe?
I observed a large black and blue eye.
So what was Danielle Redlick wearing when she first came to your house?
I don't remember her clothing attire, but I do remember that she was wearing a ball cap and sunglasses.
So did you immediately see this black and blue eye?
Not immediately.
And then how did you, what were the circumstances that led you to see this black and blue eye?
So she had pulled up in the driveway. She walked up to the front door. We had conversation at the front door for some time. And then I walked her and my son back out to the car, and she slipped off her sunglasses briefly, and I happened to just see it. It was obvious.
What was your reaction when you saw the black and blue?
Objection relevance.
Did it appear to you as if Ms. Redlick realized that she had taken off her sunglasses?
I don't believe so.
Did Ms. Redlick tell you how she got that injury?
She did not.
Nothing further.
Mr. Wiggins?
You have known the Redlick family for, at least as of July of 2019, for about 6 years, correct?
Correct.
And at no point during those 6 years did Ms. Redlick ever tell you that Michael had been physically abusive with her.
Correct.
However, in the last 2 or 3 years of knowing Danielle and Michael, Ms. Redlick would start to talk about Mike in a more negative way.
Correct.
One of the things that she would bring up to you was that Mike was very controlling with the money.
She mentioned it a few times.
And that was a problem for Ms. Redlick.
It seemed.
I have no further questions.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor. Defense called Gregory Miller.
I mean, what's that? I mean, I get the defense with a boom, but I don't get the. What's that got to do with my money? Everybody has a whinge about your partners. Jesus.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Would you please state your full name for the record and spell your first and last name?
Gregory Lewis Miller, Gregory Miller.
Ms. Conlon.
Thank you. Back in January of 2019, where were you employed?
ABC Fine Wine and Spirits,
And what was your position there?
Corporate Asset Protection Manager,
What were your job duties?
day-to-day operations for asset protection, reports, things like that.
Was part of your job duties to provide surveillance videos at various ABC liquor stores to law enforcement?
It was.
I should let the record reflect I'm showing the state listed remark as exhibit J. Can I approach the witness?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
It was shown to me prior to trial that it was going to be administered as evidentiary.
Have you had an opportunity to review what's on this USB?
I have.
Is this USB a fair and accurate copy of a video from the ABC store number 8?
It is.
And what was do you remember the address of store number 8?
I don't recall the exact address. No, I don't. It's Winter Park. I know that much.
Was it the 1425 Howell Branch Road?
That sounds correct.
And is this a true and correct copy of the video maintained by your company during the relevant time period
It is.
from January of 2019?
Correct.
On January 11th of 2019?
Correct, I believe so.
So this video of store number 8 is a true and correct copy from January 11th, 2019. Is that right?
It is.
Was this video made at or near the time of January 11th, 2019?
I believe it was after the fact. I was contacted, and so yeah, I believe it was. I don't know how far in between, but yeah, the video was pulled from the DVRs from that location.
Okay. And was this video created and kept in the course of regularly conducted activities of ABC Liquor?
It was.
And was the video equipment regularly maintained and in working order at the time of this event?
It was.
And was the video made as a regular practice in the course of the regularly conducted activity of ABC?
Yes.
No further questions.
Cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
We're flying through them. It's like a revolving door. Detective Ware. He's been before, hasn't he? Oh, the lead investigator.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Ms. Conlon.
Detective Ware, did you have an opportunity to interview Jaden Redlick?
I did.
And did you talk to Jaden Redlick on January 12th, 2019?
Yes, I did.
Did Jaden tell you that?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, can we approach?
This was done in this particular case. The case goes on to assert
Okay.
To the jury room, and I'll call you back as soon as I finish.
Oh, okay. There's some arguments happening. Here we go. Here we go. They are on the ball.
Has exited.
look at the case in which I cited on page 8.
And this is Pierce.
And Pierce, yes, Your Honor. So before a witness can be impeached with a prior inconsistent statement, a proper
foundation must be laid. Prior to questioning a witness about the contents of a previous inconsistent statement, counsel must call the witness's attention to the time, the place, and the person to whom the statement was allegedly made. Your Honor, none of this was done in this particular case. The case goes on to assert, and the rule in which I provided behind that, which counsel herself cited, states that extrinsic evidence, which counsel is trying to do here, is only admissible if the proper foundation is laid. Jaden was never given an opportunity in order to properly either admit or deny the statement. She was never impeached, Your Honor. Counsel said what she was using it for her recollection. So when we went sidebar, she said that she was doing the recording to refresh her recollection. She let Jaden, the witness, listen to the recording. She asked no questions about whether or not that recording refreshed the witness's recollection or not. And then counsel proceeded to ask her next question. After she got the answer, she sat down and asked no further questions. She did not start in on the formal impeachment. And per the rule and per this case in case law, she was required to do that before she can admit extrinsic evidence, Judge, which is what she's trying to do right now.
Okay, Ms. Holland, I'll hear from you.
Yes, so I don't know if the court has a copy of the Elmer v. State case.
I do.
Okay, so this is the one that I am referring to. I think it's very clear. My specific question was, it appeared to me that yesterday, or when Jaden testified, that she did not specifically, she was hesitant in whether or not she made that statement or not. So that is the reason why I first attempted to refresh her recollection. And
Did you ever ask her if her recollection had been refreshed?
I don't have the transcript in front of me.
Your counsel, I have a copy for you, no worries. At the end, so it would be, you finish up towards the end.
What a bitch.
Yes.
Woo. The prosecution are not happy.
Was she ever given an opportunity to explain or deny making the statement?
well, she actually said that she did not make the statement.
That's what she said, but was she given an opportunity to admit it, to deny it, and then at that point be shown her prior inconsistent statement?
So she was given the opportunity when I asked her, Jaden, on January 11th, when you came back from school and your dad arrived, did you observe or hear your dad tell your mom that she better make up a good lie as to where she was? That was the opportunity to either admit, deny, or say, I do not remember.
She said, no, I did not hear that. And after that, did you continue on with the foundation under Rule 614 to impeach her on that prior inconsistent statement?
No, that's not in the transcript. I would.
So if it's not in the transcript, then that means she didn't do it. So Jaden was never given that opportunity to explain the answer that she gave. When she said no, there wasn't any follow-up after that.
So once a witness denies making the statement, I think that 90.614 would kick in, where I can use another witness to impeach that person's statement.
Is she saying that she doesn't remember it? She just said, no, I did not hear that. She's not saying she didn't remember it. She's just saying she didn't hear it, correct?
Right, but it's evident that when she tells detective that this is what she heard, what was said, that's an inconsistent statement.
Where does the sidebar start? Is it 122?
Your Honor, it's a little bit, the sidebar starts at 122. Yes, Judge.
The blonde attorney is raging right now. Raging.
So she's asked the question, jog your memory. If you listen to the audio, I allowed her to listen to the audio.
But then she was never asked, did that jog your memory, Judge? Could you hear the audio? Has your memory been refreshed? Those questions were never asked of her. Literally, the audio was played, the jury was brought back in, and counsel proceeded to re-ask her initial question. So first, I would assert that she never really laid the proper foundation for refreshing the witness's recollections. We don't even know if the witness's recollection had been properly refreshed to begin with, Judge. And then second, counsel absolutely did not go into the impeachment process at all, which is required per the rule and per case law, before she can now admit extrinsic evidence.
So I'm looking at 90.614. We start off with subsection 1. When a witness is examined concerning the witness's prior written statement or concerning an oral statement that has been reduced to writing, the court, on motion of the adverse party, shall order the statement to be shown to the witness or its contents disclosed to him or her. I would point out that there was no motion by adverse party to order that the statement be shown to the witness or its contents disclosed to him or her. In this case, the contents were actually disclosed to Jaden Redlick because we played the audio in her presence. Subsection 2 is what I'm arguing under, extrinsic evidence of a prior inconsistent statement. We now have an inconsistent statement where Jaden Redlick made an affirmative statement saying she did not hear something, when clearly she talked to police and said, this is what dad said to mom. So going forward with subsection 2, that the extrinsic evidence of a prior inconsistent statement by a witness is inadmissible unless the witness is first afforded an opportunity to explain or deny the prior statement. Here, Jaden Redlick denied making that statement. And according to Elmer v. State, once she denies it, or in the alternative, if she says, I don't remember, that is admissible at that point.
And Your Honor, the state would assert that she did not do that proper foundation. Jaden was never asked, nor was she afforded an opportunity to explain or deny the statement.
So I would point out that in Elmer v. State, if a witness cannot recall making the prior inconsistent statement, the fact that the statement was made may be proved by another witness. That is what is being done in this case. We're proving that statement through another witness.
Well, Judge, I'm going to stop right there. Are we going under a past reported recollection, or are we going under extrinsic evidence? Those are two completely different statutes with completely different rules, Judge.
I don't know.
This is under 90.614, extrinsic evidence.
Okay, so we're not going under the past reported recollection. So the extrinsic evidence specifically states that the witness, Your Honor, when we went sidebar, counsel specifically stated she was using this to do the reported to refresh the recollection. There was nothing about an impeachment. So then counsel didn't lay the proper foundation to even establish that the recollection had been refreshed before she asked the next question. So counsel wants to use this next question as, well, Judge, that next question is the one that I'm using as, yep, she had the opportunity to admit, deny, as, yep, that was the next question, Judge.
Okay, y'all give me a minute to read what you said. Give me just a second. That Jaden made to Detective Ware is that I heard my dad tell my mom she better make up a good lie. Is that right, Ms. Conlon?
Yes.
And so that's the statement you're trying to get into evidence.
Yes.
So what it looks like to me. When she was given that audio recording and that was played, she said she did not hear that. How is that not the end of the questioning? Okay. She was afforded an opportunity to explain or deny that. She was asked the question a second time by Ms. Conlon after the bench conference. She was asked the question. She said she didn't hear it. Then there was an opportunity for questions on that. There's something that's a little off there. Can I see that report that you're, the one that has her statement in it?
I think the defense should have asked to clarify.
I think it was. Because that's what you're impeaching her with? Is
No.
that what you're asking Detective Ware about?
It's the
it-
audio,
It's the audio.
because we played the audio, Judge.
Okay.
No audio.
To explain the statement that she had made, which was that she had heard her father tell her mother, she better have a good mom. So she was given that opportunity, and she denied hearing that.
And Your Honor, the issue that the state has is we were under the premise of one thing, which was going to refresh her recollection. And so what counsel is doing now, so when we were talking and when she was talking with Jaden, she was just trying to refresh her recollection. So now she's trying to say, I was trying to refresh her recollection, and now I'm using that for an impeachment. So what she should have done, Judge, is when Jaden said, no, I didn't hear that, the next statement was, well, don't you remember giving a statement to Detective Ware? And that's what we listened to. And didn't you say in that statement that this is that and the other? Those are the next questions. Counsel didn't ask those. In fact, she didn't even clarify once again with Jaden that she heard the recording or that the recording was correct, Judge. We are assuming all of that. All we have is that the recording was played. She reacted.
Thank God.
They have to have the
Oh my
opportunity
God, she's
in order
annoying.
to the inconsistent must recall the witness's attention to the time, place, and the person to whom the statement was allegedly made. All of that foundation must be done, Judge. That was not done in this particular case. So counsel wants, because she was actually using the recording to refresh the recollection.
And it wasn't used.
And it wasn't.
In terms of
Impeachment.
impeachment.
That's
where
correct.
If you had a deposition transcript, then you would show them the deposition
Right.
transcript and then ask those lines of questions.
John! We were just speaking about you, John. Yesterday and today, actually. We say, because you, who gave you a membership yesterday? Was it Josie? Was it yesterday or the day before? Who was it? Well, I think it was Josie, wasn't it? I think you got a membership from Josie, I'm pretty sure. I think so. I know Josie gave one, but someone else gave one as well. I don't remember. I know Jonathan gave one to Nunya, but someone else gave one as well. I don't remember who now. Damn. But anyway, somebody gave you one. Oh, jeez, that's too bad now. But anyway, so we got another trial on the go, Jan, and I think it's perfect for you. Perfect. We got Katie back. Nunya, well, we can't get rid of Nunya. Do you know what I mean? We can't get rid of it. So it doesn't matter about Nunya. We try to get Terry, we try to get everyone, all the gang back, do you know what I mean, to watch the swim. It's the Kariga quadruple murder trial. So it's going to go on for a while, but there's only been a state opening and the defense opening so far. And we've got 2 more defense openings to go. So if we go to my playlist, the Kariga murder trial, day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 1 was about 2.5 hours. Day 2 was about 2 hours. Day 3, don't even bother with day 3. It was nothing. Well, I mean, it was still funny, but we're back Monday at 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock UK, 6 o'clock European. And I think it's a trial you like because we got murder, we got the cartel, we've got biker gangs, we've got drugs, we've got affairs, we've got everything in it. But it will be a long trial. So I just thought it might be something of interest to you. So it seems that's interests a lot of people. So I thought if you want to get involved, watch those over the weekend. And then this one, don't worry about this one. This trial's gone. We need to finish this trial. But Monday we started back up. So you've only got literally 2 openings to listen to. And then you all caught up. Yeah. Thanks. No worries at all. I was going to tag you in. I was trying to find a message from you to tag you in, but I couldn't find one off the top. please do. Obviously, skip a lot of it until you come. Now, the trial itself is not aesthetically pleasing, right? Because I have got direct access to the court. The judge gave me the rights to stream, and currently I'm the only streamer doing it. So it's not pretty. And on day 2, you'll see that one of the defense attorneys, is presented with a black screen in front of us, and he didn't switch it on for us to see the presentation, and I didn't figure out until the end I could zoom in. I could zoom in to watch the actual the defenders themselves. So there's 3 lots of attorneys as well. So three defendants, 3 lots of attorneys. So it's going to be a long trial. Yeah, cool, Katie. Yeah, I asked for permission. I had to jump through some hoops, but they gave me. I got to ensure that there's a few different things, that no one like messes about. But yeah, I got exclusive. Now, obviously, other people could if they went through the hoops as well, but currently I'm the only one that I'm aware of that's got direct streaming rights. 3 defense teams, yes. 3 different lots of attorneys. It's going to get messy. Great, Katie. Is that scheduled events? What do you mean scheduled events? Jan, what do you mean by scheduled events? Oh, right, sorry, yeah. No, it's not scheduled events. And Jan, if you could look in Discord then, I've opened a tab about the case in Discord where we're going to post some stuff. We can chat about it. If you've got comments, put it in there. We've got some screenshots already in there. So we're going to try and use this trial as a good way to get people. I know Katie's not on there, but she could be on if she wanted to. But there's a thread going to be in there about this particular trial. So
Questioning about, I was there, you were there.
Exactly. And she should have, and counsel stopped short. She should ask us additional questions.
So everything was eliminated as soon as I directly asked Jaden Redlick the question, did you hear your dad say, make this statement? As soon as she said, no, I did not hear that, that is enough. I don't need to go back and refresh her recollection. I can impeach her at that point with extrinsic evidence.
Yes, you can, if you go through that line of questioning to lay the proper foundation. The argument that I'm hearing is that from the state is that the proper foundation for impeaching her with that prior inconsistent statement has not been laid. That's my understanding of the state's argument. So if that's her argument, then my question to defense is, was the foundation laid? And I can see from the transcript that that part wasn't done. Come up right quick.
yeah, day 3 is only like 50 minutes, but play it at 2.0.
You know,
One of the people that you've told your story.
Yeah, you'll see the dead air and stuff. You'll see when that is. Just skip all that. Day 3, first 20 minutes there's nothing happening, so skip it. But then you'll see some bitchiness between them. There's like a pissing contest, like Nunia says. So it's just funny. But you can play like 1.75, and it's only like probably 20 minutes, but the video's about 50 minutes. You know the score. Skip a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Right, I'm 2x in this now. See what happens.
So the objection is sustained for the reasons I stated at the petition conference. Let's bring the jury back in, please.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be sustained. But I will say though, John, we don't know how long the trial's going to be, but it's projected to be around 3 months. The trial, but in my defence, I'm saying if it's a good trial, then why wouldn't we watch it for 3 months anyway? So
Did you attend the autopsy of Michael Redlick?
I did.
And was it Dr. Zadovich who conducted the autopsy?
It was.
Did you have a conversation with Dr. Zadovich?
I did.
And did she tell you?
Objection, hearsay.
Ms. Conlon?
May we approach?
Yes.
what's going on? Jesus, there's a lot of rejection of this one. I don't understand why we block so many things. Like, there we are, John. That's the attitude. Happy days. That some people don't want to watch it because it's so long. But if there's any good trials on, we can still watch the other trials in between. Do you know what I mean? As in, not in between. I mean, before the trial, we can mix it up. Objection sustained.
I'm showing the state what's been pre-marked as Defense Exhibit J. May I approach the witness? Take a look at this. Do you recognize it?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it?
It's a thumb drive containing a video for ABC Liquor.
Is this the video that you obtained from ABC Liquor in this case?
It's a copy of it, yes.
And is this the video that you had mentioned on direct or cross-examination before that you received from Gregory Miller?
That's correct.
And did you get the ABC video from Gregory Miller because he was the records custodian?
I did.
And this is the video that you had mentioned on before that Michael Redlick purchasing vodka on the day of the incident, January 11th at 4:42.
That's correct.
And does it fairly and accurately depict? Is it a fair and accurate copy of the video?
Yes, it is.
At this time, defense moves into evidence what's been pre-marked as Defense J.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Please admit it as the next numbered exhibit for the defense.
Defense Exhibit 9. Permission to publish.
Yes, ma'am.
We're starting at 3517 to go to 3840. see Michael Redlick in this video?
I do.
And which one, which individual is he?
He's the gentleman behind, he's wearing jeans and a long sleeve shirt with a black t-shirt.
Can you, if you can turn around, is there any way you can point him out?
That's standing there behind the guy in the blue shirt.
Thank you. Is that Michael Redlick at the counter?
It is. Publishing 3545 to 3855. I'm gonna forward through some of this. Was that Michael Redlick coming in, and then we're gonna see him go out pretty soon? Yes.
Yes.
Do you recognize this exhibit P?
I do.
What is it?
There are photos of a recyclable bin with some items inside.
Are they fair and accurate depictions of what you observed at the Redlick home on January 12th, 2019?
They are.
At this time, defense moves into evidence what's been pre-marked defense exhibit P.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
That will be admitted as the next numbered exhibit.
Defense exhibit 10. Permission to publish?
Yes, ma'am. Before you do that, can you give that to Betsy so she can mark that, please?
Where, what is it that we're looking at?
That is a cabinet and it's a recyclable bin. It has a recyclable bin inside of the cabinet.
This is inside the kitchen, right?
Yes, it's inside the kitchen of the Redlick home.
And this is just a close-up of that recycle bin.
It is just a close-up.
And what is this?
That's the inside when you open the drawer. That's the inside of the recyclable bin as all the items were inside.
And this is what was in the recycle bin on January 12th, 2019, is that right?
That's correct.
And this bottle right here, is that appears to look like the same bottle that
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
You know what this bottle is?
Yes, it's an empty bottle of a vodka. It's an empty vodka bottle. Yes, that's correct.
Do you have any cross-examination?
I do, Your Honor.
Let's do the cross. I understand. It's about the 12 o'clock witness?
That is something else.
Okay. That you would need to take up on your direct? I think he said yes.
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Watched a video of Mr. Redlick buying 1 bottle of alcohol, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, permission to publish what's been entered as 6 to the jury?
Defense 6 or state 6?
State 6, Judge. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Focus in here. So, Detective, this is a photo from the freezer in the Redlick house. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this is a bottle of liquor. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
The same bottle that was found taken out of the trash, correct?
Yes, same type of bottle.
The same brand. Is that correct?
That's correct.
No further questions?
Ms. Conlon?
Other than what was discussed at the bench.
Can I clarify one thing?
Okay.
And it was a bottle of Tito's vodka. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That was found in the freezer, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Detective Ware, you can step down. Is Dr. Azor available now?
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Good morning, Dr. Azur. This is Judge Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. Could you please raise your right hand? The clerk is going to swear you in at this time.
Do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Sir, would you please state your full name for the record, spelling your first and last name?
Frederick Martin Azar, Frederick. Last name Azar, Azar.
Ms. Conlon?
Dr. Azar, what is your occupation?
I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Did you at one time in your career work with the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yes,
And what was your job with the Memphis Grizzlies?
I've been the team physician for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Did you know Michael Redlick?
Yes,
How did you know Michael Redlick?
he was an executive with the Memphis Grizzlies, and I came to know him when they started the team here in 2001.
Do you remember when you first met Michael Redlick?
I don't remember the exact moment. I just remembered it was in 2001.
Do you know how long Michael Redlick stayed with the Memphis Grizzlies?
I believe until 2008.
What was your relationship with Michael while he was working also with the Memphis Grizzlies?
It was a collegial, more of a business relationship, and it was also a patient-doctor relationship.
Did you know Danielle Redlick?
Yes,
How did you know her?
I met her through Michael.
As the team doctor for Memphis Grizzlies, did you treat and care for the people on the team and their families?
Ask your question again, please.
As the team doctor for the Memphis Grizzlies, did you treat and care for the people on the team and their families?
Yes,
Was there ever a time where you treated both Michael and Danielle Redlick at the same time?
I treated both of them. I'm not sure if I saw them on the exact date or anything that I have documented.
Well, was there an instance where both of them came to you to your office?
There was an instance I recall that was not documented where they both came to my office.
What were the circumstances of that visit?
I have a vague recollection of the visit, but I remember there had been what was apparent to be a domestic incident, and they both of them had sustained some injuries, and they came to me to get checked.
Can you repeat the last part again, doctor?
And they came to me to get checked.
Did you get it?
Now, do you recall what injuries you observed on Danielle Redlick?
I do not recall anything specific. I think there may have been a facial injury, and the reason I recall that is I consulted with our team plastic surgeon. At least I recall consulting with him, and so I think it may have been something like that. But something that was not orthopedic. In other words, something that was not for me to treat.
Okay. Now, you said that she had facial injuries. Did you also refer her to a dentist?
I thought I did, but after after my deposition on this case, I corresponded with the dentist and the plastic surgeon. The dentist did not recall. Team dentist did not recall seeing her.
Okay. But you recall referring her to the plastic surgeon?
I vaguely recall referring her to the plastic surgeon, and he confirmed it when I spoke to him about it.
Okay. Did you learn the cause for the injuries?
I didn't get into what had happened. I think that they assumed I figured what had happened, and I didn't really get into it. I don't recall getting into it.
How were Danielle and Michael acting during this visit?
If I had to say one word, it would be ashamed. I don't recall or that they just felt ashamed and needed some help, and that was really the tone of the visit.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Wiggins?
Dr. Azar, you are unable to say when this particular visit occurred, correct?
That's correct.
So it could be at any point between 2001 and 2008.
Well, I first met her in 2003, I think, but I guess it could have been between those dates. Yeah,
So between 2003 and 2008, can't be more specific than that.
it cannot be.
And there's no documentation of this visit.
It's not.
You recall that seeing bumps and bruises on Mr. Redlick on Michael?
He was off the record. That's why he can't. He's got no notes for it.
I recall both of them having something, but yeah, nothing that I needed to evaluate or X-ray or treat.
It was nothing for an orthopedic surgeon or an orthopedic doctor to do.
I would have documented it, and it's just not documented in my records.
But to be clear, Michael had injuries when he presented to you.
Yes.
And when you say ashamed, that was the sense you got from both of them, that they both were presenting with this feeling of shame.
Like I have really vague recollection of this meeting, but that's the term. That's what I can remember.
And since your deposition, you have followed up with some records and some colleagues, and you determined that there was no dental referral that resulted from this visit.
I made the 2 phone calls, and I didn't look at any records. The team dentist did not recall a visit from either one of them. Yeah, but I assumed you had records.
Doctor, we can't understand you. I have here that you made 2 phone calls. And what did you say after that?
I recall calling the team dentist, not any recollection of seeing anybody related to this incident. And I called the plastic surgeon. He did recall seeing, I believe, Danielle.
To confirm, you, by doing this follow-up, determined that there was not a dental issue from this follow-up, that you had sort of referred out.
That's correct.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any redirect?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, doctor. You may be excused.
Thank you.
This doctor wasn't very helpful to the defense. I think that was supposed to be.
Come back at 1:45.
I think that was supposed to be like a slam dunk witness for the defense, but it turned out not to be that great. Turned out that both had injuries, which I imagine maybe Michael has some scratches. But I don't know who that is, Katie, if I'm being honest.
Against the wall. The defendant did not testify to this specific instance during her direct examination. The other one was about both this witness and the defendant coming home and the victim throwing a chair in the direction of the defendant. And so that was not testified to, Judge. And so, Your Honor, at this point in time, this witness coming on the stand and testifying to those specific instances, it's not relevant because at this point, the defendant hasn't made it relevant. She hasn't testified to those specific instances and how they impacted her and her mindset. So therefore, this witness testifying to them, it's not, she hasn't made them relevant at this point in time. The defendant in her testimony hasn't made this witness relevant in those specific instances, in those areas.
But isn't the whole theme of this trial how these two are involved?
I mean, did he though? He did specifically say that they fought, like he can infer that there was domestic abuse. But, I suppose he did say a domestic, didn't he? He did say a domestic. So, okay, no, I can get, yeah, okay. I'll get you with that. Sorry, yeah, actually, he did say domestic at the start. So, because he said the word domestic, I agree with you, actually. Okay.
In mutual combat on a regular basis. They have a volatile relationship. And we've heard about that in the defendant's testimony yesterday.
Absolutely. However, Your Honor, for the defendant, in order to make, because the defendant has testified to specific instances, and for those specific instances and those specific acts to be entered, the defendant herself has to make them relevant because she's the only one.
I think they both looked ashamed, is what he said. And they confirmed they both looked ashamed.
Who can make them relevant? That these specific acts somehow impacted her and the course of her relationship with the victim. So what we have here is we have very specific acts which the defendant did not testify to. And now we're going to have an individual come in and testify that she observed these specific acts, even though the defendant hasn't indicated that they impacted her in any way or how. And so the defendant hasn't made those specific facts relevant to her relationship to Michael and the nature of the relationship.
Thank you. Mr. Conlon?
So we expect that Melanie Tenaglia is going to testify as to an instance in Memphis, Tennessee, where she comes in to the house, to the Redlick home, and she hears screaming. When she hears screaming, she starts walking towards it and walks into the master bedroom and then sees the two of them in the master closet. What she testified to in deposition was that she went into the master bedroom and Michael was standing there with his back to her. And then she was looking for them and her back was up against the wall in the closet and he was screaming in her face, calling her a name. So
they asked what would describe it, and he said ashamed, and the defense, the state were like, so they're both ashamed. He's like, yeah.
This is an actual physical act of aggression that a lay person observed. It corroborates Ms. Redlick's testimony and yesterday's direct testimony. And I'm quoting from the unofficial transcript. I don't have the page number, but it starts off at 103/211. And then it has.
What page?
I don't know the page, but it looks like the unofficial transcript has these side numbers of 103 and then slash and then another set of 3 numbers.
This was from yesterday's testimony?
Yes.
The transcript that I'm looking at doesn't go up that high. It goes up to 44.
Where did we have paper? 103? Do you have 103?
Yeah, they confirmed it was both. Well, I can imagine it was more. I don't think it was a case of shame. I think it's embarrassment. Do you know what I mean? For both of them having to be there. I don't think she wants to be there either. Do you know what I mean? So it would be maybe the wrong word he used, but I can imagine both of them were ashamed to be there. I can imagine that. Neither one wants to be there.
Don't see a 211. I see 103-11. And this is testimony from yesterday afternoon?
Yes.
I don't see this location that you're talking about.
I'm going to get the page number, and then once I have the page number, I only have this sheet.
If you have one, yes, ma'am. If you don't mind, thank you.
No.
I'll tell you what 2.0 until we get back to them actually making decisions again. Everybody, yeah. I can't wait for this to finish. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's more of a, do you know what I mean? I'm just glad that we're finishing this today rather than taking it on to next week. Everybody, yeah. Rock your body, yeah. Everybody, rock your body right. Rock your body. The back streets back. All right. Oh, 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 oh. Come on, Jesus! I'm just going to skip it this way.
By the evidence by some overt act on the victim's part at or about the time of the incident, which reasonably indicated to the defendant the need to act in self-defense. It also talks about the victim's reputation of the violence or the specific prior acts of violence is admissible when the defendant knew of the victim's violent acts or of his violent reputation at the time of the alleged incident. Such evidence tends to show that the defendant acted in self-defense. So, Your Honor, the issue that the state has is because the defendant was testifying, and she never specifically talked about the closet ink slamming against the wall. She talked about generalities, that there were multiple times in which she was pushed or slammed against the wall, but she didn't talk about the specific instance in Tennessee where she was pushed against and slammed against the wall in the closet, Judge. And in order to use and bring out this type of character evidence, that is what is needed and required per the rule. It's not just that just because the defense is seeking and asserting self-defense, they get to then bring out all types of different instances. It's only the instances in which the defendant used and relied upon in formulating this issue for the self-defense. So at this point in time, the defense and the defendant has not made this specific instance in the closet relevant. They haven't talked about that specific instance, Judge.
Okay. I'm reading the Hedges case, or at least head note 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the Hedges case.
where the witness or where the defendant testified that he was slinging me against a wall, and that's what happened when they were in Memphis, that he was slinging her against the wall, and she was testifying in generalities about that. How is that not a sufficient predicate for these statements from this particular witness?
Well, because first, this particular witness is never going to say that she saw the defendant actually touch the defendant. So the testimony that this witness is going to give is she's going to say that she heard screaming. She goes into the closet. She sees Danielle back against the wall. The victim is not touching her at all, but just screaming at her. So this witness is not going to testify that the victim took her and threw her against the wall, Judge. It is merely that she was in the closet, back against the wall. According to the witness perceived that she did not have the ability to leave the closet, Judge. However, she's going to testify she never saw the victim's hands on the defendant. And that's the issue the state is having. It's not like this witness is going to be able to throw her up against the wall. So that's why we're saying that they haven't established this particular incident, because it's not an incident where this witness can testify that she actually saw the victim throwing the defendant against the wall.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Ms. Conlon, if what the witness saw was not a physically violent action, how then is this testimony relevant? Or how then is this testimony admissible to show violence or violent tendencies on behalf of the victim?
So just so that we're clear, this is not admitted for character evidence. This is admitted to show the reasonableness of the defendant's fear. And what we expect the witness to testify is that there was yelling. So we know that there was argument between the two. We know that we expect her to testify that Michael's back was to her. And what she observed was that Danielle's back was up against the wall. Michael was standing over her and screaming in her face, calling her a derogatory name. So that is, because of her viewpoint, she wasn't able to see the actual pinning, but what she can testify to is that Michael Redlick was up against her so that Danielle Redlick had nowhere to move. Her back was against the wall, which is what Ms. Redlick testified to as far as manhandling. There'd be instances of manhandling. He would pin me to the wall. He would, so I think with pinning to the wall, there's an implication that her back would be up against the wall. And just because the witness's viewpoint couldn't see the actual Michael Redlick's hands on her, we still have testimony that this was an aggressive situation. It was volatile. Michael Redlick was standing over her and yelling at her, calling her a...
When did this event in Memphis happen? Do you remember the timeline on that?
It would have been when they were living in Memphis.
Here's my ruling and based on my understanding. This act in Memphis isn't at or near the time of the defendant's stabbing of the victim in self-defense. I think it's too remote in time.
Oh,
In
Judge.
addition to that, I don't feel that
Bollocks.
the testimony that we have right now before us from the defendant, like I said, it's broad in nature in terms of he was slinging me against the wall. It's not this specific type of conduct, meaning it's not being...
Oh, this is
In
bullshit.
Memphis, we had an argument and he pinned me against the closet. And then this testimony from this witness could corroborate that because this is what she saw. But even more problematic is that this was not something that happened. This event that the witness would testify to is not something that happened at or near the time the defendant claims to use self-defense to protect herself. So I'm not going to allow this particular witness to testify regarding those specific acts of aggression for those reasons. Is there any other witness that you have issue with?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any other issues I need to take up before they bring?
The Jitsi video, but can we also have an opportunity to proffer this aspect of Melanie Tenaglia's testimony?
Yes.
I just wanted to check.
I disagree with it because even doing this once, it doesn't matter. You've done it. Chucking it up against the wall, being abusive. Once you abuse somebody,
Briefly on the argument in regards to misdemeanor, because I want to make sure that the understanding of the case law upon which the state attorney is relying is clear. I believe, and I understand the court's rule, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. When the Hedges case references an overt act that causes the defendant to be acting in self-defense, that's referencing the offense for which she is charged currently. So the prior acts are not relevant until we have established an overt act by the alleged victim, in this case, that makes her fear of him relevant. I think everybody would agree that that has been established. I don't think that there needs to be specific testimony in regards to an overt act for the prior offense to make that relevant. That doesn't, if the court's ruling it out on timeline, then that's a separate issue. But I just want to make sure, based on the way the court worded the ruling, that I think that that's not correctly applying the Hedges language.
Because the overt act only involves what happened in the instant case. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So the relevance becomes the overt act that makes Ms. Redlick feel she needs to act to defend herself occurring has been testified to. That is Michael Redlick attacking her in the kitchen in January of 2019. Because that has been testified to, prior acts of violence against her by her husband become relevant if they establish fear or the need to protect herself in her mind for the current case. The defendant does not have to establish or give specifics to the point that the state is asking for on the actual prior acts to make them admissible in this hearing, in this trial. Again, decision based on remoteness, that's not something that I'm arguing with, just that the overt act language from that Hedges case is referring to the act that she's currently on trial for, not the act in Memphis.
And Judge, the one thing I will say is that the defense does have to establish that the defendant was in fear, which is one thing we don't have here, because if she doesn't testify to that specific instant, then we don't know how it affected her. And so we don't know that she was in fear, and that was an instant that caused her to be in fear, that then led to this overarching, the overarching issue. And that's what the record is lacking, is there's no indication from the defendant how this particular incident affected her at all. We're silent on that.
May I respond to that about the fear?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Redlick has already testified that on the night of the incident that she was in fear. This prior incident, so that is what Ms. Redlick has to testify to in order to make the prior incident relevant, because it goes to the reasonableness of her fear. These past incidents inform whether or not her fear is reasonable. So because of these past instances where she was being manhandled, and then there's an overt act on the night of the incident that caused her to have fear, now the prior incident becomes relevant for the reasonableness of fear. And
even though it happened,
it doesn't matter.
Even though it happened when they lived in Memphis and not something that happened when they were living here in Winter Park.
It doesn't matter.
So there's another case.
In my opinion, if you hit a woman or if you pin her up against the wall, even once, you've just shown what you're about. You've just shown it. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years ago. You did it. It doesn't matter if it's 20 years ago. You still did it. I just don't get this. Do you know what I mean? If a man hits a woman, you've hit her, and she can still be fearful of that man because he's got that tendency in him. So no matter what the timeline is, this is ridiculous. This should 100% be allowed in as testimony, in my opinion. I just don't get it. Yeah, in a way, yeah. Why was the doctor allowed to testify then? This is ridiculous. I don't agree with that one bit.
The reason why is because the prior acts of
if you beat up a woman or if you pin her up against the wall, no matter how many times, once is enough. That's it.
Violence, even if it didn't need to happen while they were living in Orlando, Winter Park. They just had, but even if it was 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, especially since it's ongoing, the fear that she had because she knows.
Anything else?
So I didn't
in Tennessee. I just want to clarify
that probably be admitted by my previous ruling. it's not going to be admitted, or that witness will not be testifying regarding that prior instance.
And then, Your Honor, I just want to clarify with defense, we had chatted earlier that she wasn't going to go into the other instance in Tennessee. Is that correct?
Okay. Anything else?
So I didn't know when the court wanted to proffer because other.
We can do that now, since she's here.
I feel disgusted because his prior acts aren't allowed in. I mean, there's a woman being put on for murder, and things that could help her about his past actions are not allowed in. I just don't get the law with this. I think the law is broken if that's the case. Bloody
Outside the
hell.
presence of the jury. So at this time, the defense would call Melanie Tenaglia.
I'm pissed. If there's any justice in the world, you put everything in. You don't just pick and choose. I get it, you have to, but fuck me.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth?
What's her
and nothing
name?
but the truth?
Ms. Conlon?
Please tell us your name.
Melanie Tenaglia,
And what is your relationship to Danielle Redlick?
sister.
Is she your oldest or,
She's the oldest, yes, she's.
Okay. And how many total siblings are there?
There's me and her, and then my mom had 3 more, so there's 3 half siblings on my mom's side and 3 half siblings on our father's side. So 3, and then the 2 of us.
Did you grow up, where did you grow up?
With my mom.
Hello.
So there would have been 5 of us together grew up.
Did you live in Cleveland, Ohio?
Yes,
At that time, did Danielle Redlick live there as well?
yes,
At some point, did Danielle Redlick move to Memphis?
yes,
And did you also move to Memphis?
yes.
Where was Michael living?
With-
By Michael, I mean Michael Redlick.
In Memphis,
Did you know Michael Redlick?
yes.
And what was his relationship to Danielle? As in, like, were they husband and wife?
At that time,
Yes, in Memphis.
yes, husband and wife.
When you moved to Memphis, did you spend time at the Redlick home?
Yes,
How often would you see Danielle during that time?
a couple times a week.
And did you ever see any physical acts of violence during that time in Memphis?
I saw one, yes.
Okay, can you describe that?
My kids were spending the night at their house and they were ready to come home. So I went to go pick my children up and I walked in the front door as I would always, and I was saying, dance, dance. And I walked straight back to where when you come in the front door, if you walk straight back, her room was back there looking for her. And when I turned the corner, I heard Michael calling her a bitch. And when I looked over, she was in the back of her closet.
When you say she, who's she?
I'm sorry, Danielle was in the back of their walk-in closet with her back up against the wall, and Michael was in her face, towering over her to where she couldn't like get around him.
Was Michael yelling at her?
Yes.
Did it look like an aggressive situation?
Yes.
And what made it look aggressive to you?
It didn't look like she could get out, and he was like screaming at her. I heard him saying, "Bitch, you're a bitch." And I turned around and walked out and said, "Let's go," to my kids, and then I left.
So you didn't help your sister?
Danielle Redlick while they were in the closet.
Yes.
And was Danielle's back to the closet wall?
Yes.
And so was Michael in front of Danielle?
Yes.
Yes.
And was there lots of room from Michael's back?
To me? To the opening of the closet?
Yes.
Yeah.
No further questions.
And Your Honor, just for the record, if I can cross her.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi. So let's talk about this incident that you were describing on direct examination. So
I don't like her.
you walk into the house and you hear yelling, correct? Into Danielle's house, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you go back to where the yelling is, true?
No. When I walked in the front door, I didn't originally hear yelling.
Okay.
I walked in the front door and I didn't see anybody because you could see the living room, kitchen, dining room area. And I said, dance, dance, because
That's how we would just go in, and then I'd look for her and say, I'm here for the kids or whatever. As I walked closer to the bedroom, which would be straight back, I heard him yelling.
Okay, so when you originally walked in the door, you couldn't hear any yelling, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it was only when you got back closer to the bedroom door, that's when you heard the yelling, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then when you actually saw, so you looked into the closet, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it was a master bedroom closet, right?
Right.
So it was a walk-in closet?
Yes.
Okay, and when you looked into the closet, you saw Danielle with her back against the wall, right?
Right.
And you said that Michael was over top of her, right?
Right.
Okay, but you never saw Michael touching her, correct?
No.
And you didn't see Michael hit her, right?
No.
You just heard Michael yelling, right?
Right.
And then you said something, right? Like, let's go or something like that to the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. But before you left, you actually saw Danielle and Michael exit the closet, right?
I didn't see them come out of the closet, no.
You didn't see them come out of the closet?
No.
Are you okay?
I was in the kitchen. They were in the room. So if they would have came out of the closet, I wouldn't have saw them exit the closet.
But they came out, but you did see them once they came out of the closet, right?
I saw Michael.
You never saw Danielle?
No.
And do you remember giving so your testimony here today is that you only saw Michael out of the closet, not both of them, correct?
Right.
And do you remember giving a deposition in this case?
Yes.
And it was on May 29th, 2020?
Yes.
And Mr. Wiggins was present at the deposition?
Yes.
And the defense attorney was present at the deposition? Commissioner Coach, Your Honor? I'm going to referencing page 24, line 16 and 17. Actually, 15 through 17. And I'd like you to read out silently as I read aloud, starting on line 15. I turned around and walked out and said, Kaylee and Sam, let's go. He must have heard that I was there, and then they came out. Did I read that correctly?
Correct.
Okay, so they came out, correct?
Correct.
So both Danielle and Michael came out.
Well, I assumed Danielle came out because he came out, but I only saw Michael.
But in your deposition, you said they came out, right?
Right.
And that evening after you left, you never called the police, right?
No.
Trying to minimize it all now. This is like, I know they got a job to do, but come on.
That evening, you never saw Michael touch Danielle, correct?
No.
So is that a yes? So Michael did not hit Danielle, correct?
No, not that I saw.
Okay. And you never saw him touch her at all. Is that true?
Correct.
Question asked and answered.
And when you then you left that evening, correct? With your kids?
Correct.
And you left Danielle there, correct?
Correct.
She didn't come with you, right?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
On record? Yes. Okay, so I would cite to Smith v. State, 606, Southern Second, 641, Florida First DCA case 1992. The court there held that when self-defense is raised, evidence of prior specific acts of violence by the victim is admissible to reveal the reasonableness of the defendant's apprehension at the time of the incident. The standard is that before a defendant may offer this type of evidence here, she must display a proper predicate demonstrating some overt act by the victim, which may be reasonably regarded as placing the defendant in imminent danger. All doubts as to the admission of self-defense evidence must be resolved in favor of the accused. An overt act on the night of the incident, and therefore that prior incident goes to the reasonableness of the defendant's apprehension. In Farrell v. State, 273 Southern 3rd 43, Florida 4th DCA 2019. In this case held that third-party testimony was allowed to corroborate defendant's testimony. And in this case, the defendant has stated that she was manhandled in Memphis, and this is corroboration of that.
What case was that again? That was Farrow v. State?
Yes, it is Farrell v. State, 273 Southern 3rd 43, Florida 4th DCA 2019.
Mr.
Next one we would do is the video exhibit. So when we come back, I will enter the text messages, the color version, without objection, and then this, but I want to make sure it works. And I think we're still logged into where we had Dr. Azar testifying. Are we able to not be? Okay, so I should be good on that there.
Well, hopefully, Jesus. Right, what's that? 341.
And is there any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
So defense Q will be admitted as the next numbered exhibit.
Defense Exhibit 11.
Right, there's another Zoom thing then. Let's take a gander.
Well, you're about to do something. True, true, not true.
Please be seated, sir. State your full name, spell your first and last name.
Ted Usey, T-E-D-U-T-S-E-Y.
Mr. Barnum,
May the court inquire if the jurors are able to hear the testimony?
here. Nodding yes. Okay.
I didn't
Couple
catch
no's.
that.
Couple no's? Okay.
Possible for the court to raise the volume on that?
I just did, so let's see what happens now.
Mr. Usey, say why we have a camera recording you right here. Like this. Okay.
Does that matter?
Mr. Usey, what do you do?
I'm a handyman.
Can you make sure you speak up so the microphone can catch you?
I'm a handyman.
How long have you been doing that?
About 6-7 years now.
In Orlando?
Orlando and Springs over.
Have you ever had engaged to meet Danielle Redlick?
Yes.
How about her husband, Michael?
Yes.
How long have you known brothers?
Before I started working for them, or about
Before you started working for them?
just not just seeing the same height, but not physical until I started working for them.
Okay. Where did you know them before you worked for them?
Like I was working with the neighbors, and they needed help, and that's when I first met them.
So you saw them across the street?
Yes.
Have you ever interacted with the brothers outside of working environment?
No, not really.
And did you ever work with brothers?
Yes.
Approximately what time was that? Like what year, day, month, if you know, to the best of your recollection?
I think it was like 2018, 2019. I'm not sure. Yeah.
And where was the location where you performed work?
At the house. On Temple Drive.
In West Park?
Yes.
What work did you perform for the brothers?
I fixed up a bunch of things in the household. They were going to get ready to sell or stay, but they wanted to fix it up.
Okay. Did you ever fix the front door of the home?
Yes.
Can I have this witness to show defense A for identification?
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Okay, in this photograph, can you tell the court what that is?
That's the front door of the Reddick's house.
At the home where you repaired it?
Yes.
Okay. And is this a true and accurate reflection of what the door looked like when you did the repairs?
Yes.
Can I just, since you moved defense exhibit A, that's one?
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Defense A is admitted as defense number one.
haven't posed to the camera. I'm sure you can see this. Excuse me. How many times did you repair that door?
Excuse me?
How many times did you repair that door?
Twice.
Do you remember when those were? First and second?
I can't tell exactly the time, I'll be honest. But I know the first time the door was broken, where it wouldn't lock, it wouldn't close, and the hinges was damaged. The lock hinges on the side.
Were both of these times in 2018?
Yes, back to back.
So the damage on the door the first time that it was, where was the location on the door of the damage? So where had it been broken?
I can explain that. Obviously, when the door closed, there's one door, since it's first door, one door says lock. So there's a locking element on top and bottom to lock one side. Well, those were broken. Like it was broken. It wouldn't stay closed. So what I had to do is I had to take out, I call it the brings, and reinforce them to make them lock and put new wood on front. Put a thicker wood so it could close right and it seals the door from getting the air in and from the other door slamming in and out.
Is that a thicker wood? Is that a thicker wood that had previously been on there?
Yeah, because what happens is when the door was, the way they had it is the door wasn't aligned right. So I had to take a piece of I want to say 3 inch by 3/4 inch wood and put it up, stop the door, and seal it so the air won't go in.
So is the door made stronger than it was before it got broken?
Yes.
Do you know how the door got broken?
I don't know.
Were you present when the door was broken?
The first time, no. I didn't know how.
And without telling me what anybody said, if the answer is yes, did anybody ever tell you how the door got broken?
No.
Based on what you observed with the damage to the door, were you able to tell how it was broken?
The first time, no. The second time, yes.
Okay. So the second time, do you recall the date for that or the rough guess on the date for that?
I can't tell. I know Mr. Reddick called me and told me to come over because he wanted that door fixed.
Okay. And this would have been 2018 as well?
Yes.
The second time, what did you observe for the damage to the door?
The second time, obviously, the brains and elements was the door was kicked in. The wood that I put up was broken. It was cracked, and the elements I had to replace them totally this time. So that was on the door that was on the first door. It was on the other side of the door that was broken also. So I had to be kicked in because you can't do it from the outside. The inside it had to be
So
from the outside.
The door would have to have occurred from something hitting it from the outside?
Yes.
Outside meaning towards the street as opposed to inside the home?
Yes.
Did the doors open into the home or outside?
Into the home.
They opened into the home. Did anybody tell you how the doors were open that second time?
No.
So what you said is based on what you observed yourself?
Yes, because I told him this is what happens is when Reddick called me over, I said this is not due to anything I did.
Hold on. Mr. Parnell? Hold on just a second.
I'm not seeing the substance of anything.
Okay, hold on just a minute. I'm just trying to find where I was. I don't think so. I don't think that's hearsay. Objections overruled. Yes, sir.
Not responsive.
Mr. Purnell, I don't think it is. Looks like you're talking about what the witness observed, and I don't think that's what he's answering.
Right,
So can you ask your question again? I'll state the objection on being non-responsive.
Okay, so I think I previously asked, did anybody tell you what happened to the door? You had said no, correct?
Yes.
So the damage that you described as seeing, that's your opinion from what you observed yourself, is that fair?
Yes.
When was the last time that you were in the Redlick home prior to Mr. Redlick? Are you aware that Mr. Redlick passed away?
Yes.
Do you know when that was?
It was I think in January, February. I'm not
Were you
sure.
aware of it close to the time when it happened?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Were you made aware of his death soon after it happened?
Yes.
So prior to him dying, how long before that was the last time you were inside the home?
In December sometime.
And that would be December 2018.
Something like that.
Did you ever have an opportunity to go inside the master bathroom at the home?
Yes.
Was that in the December 2018 visit?
I don't recall that one, I'm sorry.
Do you recall the last time you would have been inside the master bathroom of the home would have been?
When I was changing the locks, I think, I don't know, for the doors.
The locks to, was this the main door or was it?
I changed all the doors in the house, all the locks in the house.
Okay. The last time you were inside the bathroom, was there any damage to the door entering the master bathroom?
No.
Can I first witness with the kid's identification B?
Yes, you may.
Ms. Easy, do you recognize what these photographs depict? You can look this to them if you want.
Yes.
What do those depict?
That's her bathroom.
The bathroom they were speaking about?
Yes.
And the condition of the doors, is that a condition that you ever observed those doors to be in?
No. I fixed, no.
Is that damage that you ever fixed yourself?
Not that, no.
And had that ever been done prior to the December 2018 visit that you made to the bathroom?
No, this wasn't what this one.
At this time, I'll seek to enter defense B as defense 2.
Objection?
Yes, Your Honor. Credit is not delayed.
Is there a question that you want to ask him about the pictures?
Is that an accurate reflection of the bathroom as it stood when you visited the bathroom at home? I'm asking about the bathroom itself, not the door specifically.
I'm lost, I'm sorry.
Would you like to see the photograph again?
Yes.
Okay. You said you recognize what the photographs depict?
Yes.
Do the photographs depict the bathroom, the master bathroom of the Redlick home?
Yes, this is his master bedroom, and I put those locks on. The door wasn't like that.
So my question to you is, do the photographs that you have in your hand accurately depict the bathroom as you know it?
Yes.
That is not. Be wrong as an instant.
I think it's because it's an old video. It's an old video. It's not a current video. It's not live today. It's been pre-recorded. So it must be something there. Oh, this is right. We might have missed a little bit there, but fuck it.
Mr. Parnell, your next witness.
At this time, please make the arrest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need to take up an issue with the party, so the deputy will escort you to the jury room. Parnell, Ms. Conlon?
Yes. At this time, the defense moves for a judgment of acquittal. As for the second-degree murder charge, even in the light most favorable to the state has the burden.
You have your rebuttal?
No, but we're just gonna rebut their case and then that would be the end of the trial and then they would make JOA.
So you have a witness you,
No, but we're gonna do that tomorrow morning. So I'm just saying the case isn't over. They're making their final
No, no,
JOA.
I do. I get it. So what you want to do now is recess for the day and then go through the jury instructions?
Yeah, I just don't think, I think it's, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's premature when state's gonna present a rebuttal case to do their final JOA.
It is.
Yeah, so then I thought
So
we
we'll
would,
just wait. So we'll just do the jury instructions now.
was
I received my copy. Did you get yours, Mr. Parnell?
So defense arrested. We are not sitting through jury instructions because I don't think we need to. Second degree murder and tampering with evidence. It is, which I thought was first degree, but no, apparently second degree. So you know what's going to happen now. I'm not sure if Erin Hack is still here. If Julie's really here, I know. I'm not sure if Erin Hack is still here with her bus. She's probably out there licking the window still. So if you find Erin Hack with a little bus, jump on the bus, and we will be going to day 6. Now, day 6 is going to be, in total, I think, about hour and a half. And say with everything, 2 hours to be safe, with verdict and everything else. Say 2 hours. But what you need to do is walk away from where you are now, go outside, see a yellow bus, and if there's loads of yellow buses, just look at the one where you see this woman licking windows. That's Erin. It'll only be Erin. She'll just licking windows flat out. Just jump on there, and she'll bring you to the next place. So with that, I'm going to go over to that next place, and if it doesn't take you over, let me get a link just in case. Because I'm not sure if Mary's here. If Mary's here, she wants a link just in case. So there's a link in there for you guys. It's at the bottom. So with that, let's go and see day 6. I'll see you in, 30 seconds. And with that, free Zachary Anderson. See you in a bit.